Okay. We should be good now. Everything should be working. Alright. Let me just double check. But I should finally be on the right one. Alrighty. There we go. There we go. Oh, finally on the right stream. Hello. We're playing Nurgle today. To redeem ourselves. Redeem ourselves. For the win. We made it to the grand finals last time. With a little bit of touching up. And actually desummoning. I think we can get a sick dub. So that's what we'll be playing for today. We got this guy is playing Kislev. And this is a matchup that I lost. It's a matchup that I lost last time, so it should be quite interesting. Playing on the Kislev side. So it should be pretty Nurgle favored. Unfortunately, the map is ginormous. Which I would say puts us back ever so slightly. But probably what I'm thinking here is just a normal build-up is good. Unclean one action, please. I would if they were not so terrible. Along with Nurgle being bad, we're basically going to have to play hard meta here. If we want to have a chance of winning in the slightest. But yeah, I look forward to this. Lord-wise, probably want some of this. Yeah, there we go. Now, when I was playing as Kislev, I found Buna to be extraordinarily annoying. I suspect it shall serve me well here. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to get extra magic, so only 3 Bunas this game. But Kislev Cavalry is so core to how the faction functions. I believe it is totally fine. Filth Max and yeah. Fingers crossed it goes well. I'm still learning Nurgle. Today's gonna be just a mass desummoning for sure. Just a ludicrous amount desummons. Gonna need a couple horsemen in case he goes for the big SC style. But otherwise, everything here should be fairly standard fare, I'd say. When it comes to Kislev, there's not too much complexity that you really have to worry about. They got their cavalry, they got their infantry. They can try and shoot you to death. You can spam infantry to probably, hopefully, just overwhelm them. Now, in my match against Chosen, he actually took Plague Toads, which is real weird to me. I wonder why Plague Toads are good. I know the charge and armor piercing is actually not bad. Plus, they provide a little bit of mass. Relatively cheap, too. So maybe all that combined makes them fairly good at withstanding the cav charges. But they feel so jank. They feel so jank. I don't know if they're actually a good idea or not. I guess we'll see. Kislev, definitely a little bit of a scarier faction, I'd say. They got a lot of oomph. They can dish out a lot of pain. Wipe my army off the board if they so choose to. But I think I have a pretty decent build to hopefully try and manage them. Chaos Knight's any good? 55 melee defense has to cook, right? Not so much against the high charge bonus stuff. Like, maybe if I end up leaving them against the Kislev cavalry, but typically Kislev likes to end cav fights pretty fast. They use hailstorms and such after the charge. Because cavalry, if you just have 2 cavalry run into each other, it's going to take a few minutes to actually finish the fight. So I'd be a little worried about running Chaos Knights. Though, if you do find yourself in situations where they're kind of just sitting in combat for a long time, the 54 melee defense cooks. Or 55. Like, against Tomb Kings, holy moly. The Nahakar Horsemen, get 0 damage on the Chaos Knights. It's amazing. So it kind of depends on the DPS scenario that you're dealing with. In this case, though, I'm mostly worried about the infantry. Getting them occupied, and that means my knights will probably be bouncing around a lot. So, for the high DPS, we just took the Rotting Riders. Nice and simple. They have a Finnish name. They used to be the Finnish Light Cavalry in the Swedish Armed Forces. Interesting. I can see why they like Kislev. Lots of sick cavalry. Plague Toads are pretty decent against cavalry is what I heard. Well, apparently they lose to Hellstriders. Ripperino. But yeah, today should be a fun day. Honestly, after yesterday, we had a pretty decent showing of the Nurgs. So, I think if I kind of master this playstyle, it will really help me out if we end up on smaller maps. Because I think I can kite really well, but it's the smaller maps that end up giving me a harder time. Gotta avoid this, or gotta learn how to play the smaller maps by actually going more of an infantry-based faction. And this should do well. Yeah, Rotting Riders. They're pretty good. Pretty good. Anti-large, AP. Got the regen. They got the Blessing of the Fly Lord, which in a sense kind of increases that regen. Lots of good stuff. My opponent has gone for just a couple horse archers, nothing too crazy. They got an armored Cossar front, Ice Witch of Tempest, and yeah, just a bunch of standard infantry. Nothing really too crazy. Pestigor's got that missile resist, so I think they can actually straight up ignore these guys for a little bit. We got some Winged Lancers, hype. That's a Buna target. And do I need Kaizek with this core of single entities? Probably not. Just gotta turn on Fire Will on the Noxbringer. Does it shoot while moving? Okay, maybe it doesn't. No shots taken. Here we go. Already on our first point. These guys don't do that well versus the armor maxing. So I think if I can just build that up, I'll be good. Gotta keep my SCs maneuvering. Haven't played any warm-up games. This first game is my warm-up. And already Noxbringer a decent amount of damage. Nothing too crazy. We're here to get a clean engagement against the Kislevites. Whoop, little bit of lag. I think we'll be fine though. A lot of bit of lag, jeez. And okay, it's gonna be a Lil Grom. Interesting. So Lil Grom versus the Noxbringer is going to significantly weaken his melee push. Hold, internet, hold. There's a shot from Lil Grom. Just gonna give it a dodge from good old Noxy. I can see the cannonball. Turn on the lag switch for the dodging. Obviously not. The stream is still going well. But overall, I'd say this is a pretty good position. I just have to make sure my Rot Knights don't get shot by the cannons and we're fine. Congrats on second place in the World Championships. Thank you. It was fun. Dude, what is this lag though, bro? What is this lag? It's from Finland. There should be a little bit of lag. It was good a second ago. Someone chewed on the undersea cables. Why am I here? But only to suffer. Noxbringer doing the Matrix dodges. Yeah, that's the meta. You beat the artillery with the sick jukes. Even better with the slowdown though. Yeah, I guess. Guess that is very Matrixy. Hold. Hold. Underwater Skaven. Your Skaven have not mastered the seas, right? Lag switch is such an ancient joke. I know. I think we're almost there. I wonder, is he gonna be able to dodge a Noxbringer? With the power of lag indeed holding. I'll message my opponent, see if they want to host. Come on. Whoop. Oh, it's coming back. And hey, we're good. Huzzah. Whoa, it's stabilized. Stabilized right when I brought it up. Hell yeah. Alright. We can now focus on the micro again. So, as long as I keep dodging here, life will be good. Kind of don't want to... Well, actually, I kind of do want to get into a big fight right now. Oh, crap. That little Grom was able to shoot over the hill. Clever girl. Clever girl. Do I want to fight for the second point? Ticket-wise, I don't really have to just yet. But the little Grom is a little bit of a liability in a sense. It's not really going to be able to get a whole lot of work done. Except for maybe poke at the Noxbringer, which it is hitting. And that is very good for it. But Noxbringer pokes alone are not going to win my opponent the game here. I also managed a fairly nice catch on that Lordy over there. Very nice. And then, of course, we can get some amazing view in us soon enough. He's going to get a little bit of a hailstorm, but that ain't going to help him. Whoop. We're really just waiting to get that sick Buna play on the Winged Lancers. Gotta be a little careful that they don't charge my poor Pestigors here. But, yeah, the hope is my opponent just has too much... Just a bit too much on the, skirmish kiting department to really do well here. That's a Miska. I guess that's fine for me. Though, I'm definitely gonna have to kill off this Lord. So let's just quickly trigger the passive on them. Not entirely sure how I feel about the current position. Oh, dang, he's really going for it, though. I'd be a bit worried if I was that Lord. Definitely on the slightly overextended side of things. Though I will say my Rotting Riders have been a little mismanaged. I do think that getting the damage on this Lord will be great. Jeez, the Rotting Riders hate Lil Grom, though, don't they? Painful. But can you actually hold the points for a long time? As it stands, the way the game is going, it's going to be very hard for my opponent to retake any amount of territory, right? Rotting Riders will obviously have to back up. They've been brutalized. Value trading, also not great. But do I have time on my side? I guess that's a big question. Mayhaps. What's going on here? What is this mosh pit, man? So much cavalry. Rotting Rider's gonna have to be a little bit more careful. My Lord is still good, though. He's brought in the Patriarch, who's not an amazing source of healing. So I'm gonna trust in the process of Nurgle. Should have desummoned these guys. That's the misplays that I'm talking about here. We'll see if he can deal with the Plague Toads, though. I have a feeling that the answer is gonna be no. Plague Toads are quite annoying. Jeez Louise, though, that little Grom is so devastating. But as it stands, we're only slightly down trading. If you look at the overall forces on the battlefield, I think we're still doing pretty good. I just have to keep dodging the little Grom. Should be able to get a pot shot over there. Oh, there he goes. Juke. Okay, I think that's gonna be good. Noxbringer lives. His Lord is all the way over there. I think this should be not too bad then. Whoop, keep joking. It's okay. As long as the Noxbringer never gets hit for the rest of the battle, I'm okay. A little bit of a tall order, but it can be done. Let's get that pot shot over there. And then the Toad spam will actually be pretty annoying. Unfortunately, Noxbringer not getting line of sight. Kind of sucky for the little thing. We have a Cav here. We do. Some wing lancers. Definitely want to finish them off. Dodge it! Oh, jeez. Alright. Guy has a lot of work to do. A lot of jukes. Rotting Riders are kind of just AFK. I'm literally just waiting out the little Grom. Keep joking! Noxbringer with the clutches. Oh, very nice. Alright. Well, I guess if I can keep doing this, it ain't too bad. The power to dodge artillery is huge here. Yeesh. Okay, alright. And so far my opponent, despite having a fairly good kite force, kind of just getting stuffed up by Nurgle. He's actually retargeted to the toads. He's realized that our dodging prowess is too high. Big pot shot from the Noxbringer. Very nice. Yo, this is crazy, man. Dude, Nurgle's playstyle is so weird. You're just supposed to suffer. You're just supposed to tank it. I've never experienced such a thing. But yeah, seriously, I'm just sitting around suffering, down trading like a mad lad, and somehow still coming out on top. Now I'm still gonna have to dodge with the Noxbringer and all that. That little Grom has retargeted. Oh, worst time to turn ever. Oh, jeez. Massacre on the Kislev front. Very nice. And then, yeah, I gotta start thinking about my resummons. Dude, I had to really dodge it, though. That little Grom is such a menace. A little bit of line of sight issues there. You love to see it. Very nice. Big bombardment. Now we're gonna go for that sweet, sweet Lord kill. He's going for the Rotting Riders, a unit that I unfortunately cannot protect. But doesn't matter. I think there's no capture weight left for the Kislevites. I'm gonna de-summon these guys. We have learned Nurgle is all about the management. There's just the slow burn management of your army. They're not here to have finesse at all. They literally just want to cook extremely slowly. Oh crap, alright. I think that's a miscut probably. Yeah, I might be able to rout the Watchman though. Our Lord, by the way, is an absolute Chad. Stats are through the roof. And yeah, this is such a different playstyle than I'm used to. It's kind of crazy. Come on, Noxy. Yeah, you have to get rid of the little Grom. He is going to rout off my Lord. A little unfortunate. He also has some things in the woods that we got to Buna. But by killing off all the high priority targets, basically anything that can do a good amount of damage, we put our opponent in a really, really rough position. Even got the triple cap on him. And I'll be able to bring in more units soon enough. That Buna's really doing well too. It's a little rough that his Lord survived though. But I guess the way things are going, we're still gonna win. Nurgle main, yeah. Hey, Lord came back, hell yeah. Really weird playstyle. I honestly do not like the playstyle at all. But I need to get confidence in being able to just go for the main tide. Like, so many games I try kiting on a big map and I just get screwed over because I'm so used to the kite. But by just embracing the raw mainliness of the main tide, even on a big map, we can find victory. Nurgle's crazy, man. Still better than Skaven? Yeah, Skaven just sucks though, yeah. Skaven, you can play them perfectly. It's still going to be kind of jank. Oh, gotta pull back. Alright, get the toads in there. You know, these guys are interesting, but I don't have a lot of healing, so they aren't actually super great. Got de-summon. I got de-summon instead of sending them back into combat for sure. Whoa. I also like really hate these horsemen. I gotta just not take them, I swear. The horsemen are so bad. they're obviously really good if, you know, they're spamming out a bunch of stuff. The Ice Witch is gonna die. Yeah, they're obviously not bad if your opponent's spamming single entities with no support. Rip. But they don't really do much else. They only do well in the most perfect of circumstances. It's kind of sad to see. What else is sad to see though is Kislev losing to Nurgle. Getting straight Nurged on. And now we have that kind of late game mass summoning. That'll really seal the deal. GG, well played. Very nice. Very nice. Alright. I'll take it. GG. Now wait for our next opponent. Not bad. My Rotting Riders kind of sucked, but the Noxbringer with the sick jukes did pretty well. Little Grom got a lot of value on the Riders though. But yeah, just no capture weight, right? We just kind of Buna'd all their cavalry. And then it was over. Straight suffering. How much did my caster get? 2,200. That's really good. Note to self. Always bring Buna versus Kislev. Buna main tide. Just insanely strong. His infantry were okay. But my infantry just traded into them. And then I ended up with way more capture weight towards the end. Very interesting. 2 horsemen is honestly enough. Like, I don't think you actually want more than 2 horsemen. This is crazy playstyle. Insanity playstyle is this. Alright. Well, that gets us the win. Along with many other people. Von Karstein, Big B's, Risotto, Melkor, Exablon, Pope Patty. Very fun. Get down with the sickness. Dude, I don't know. What is this? Is the Nurgle Soul Grinder the best one? It's the only one that sees play. The Tzeentch one, I guess, technically sees play, but this one sees consistent play. I wish they could invent some kind of new technology where you could have the game hosted independently on a company's servers. Sounds impossible. Yeah, not cav maxing. Honestly, like, the going for the cav max, it is really good on the big maps. And I think it's probably the best strategy if you are on ginormous maps. But especially in the last grand finals, Turin is mixing in the melee maps, man. The melee grind maps. And that's pretty brutal. Oh, it looks like someone screwed up their thing. Okay, someone really screwed up. Someone really screwed up their thingamajig. Interesting. I will need to fix that. Full leaderboard. Okay. Alright. Someone screwed up the commands. And their name is super borked. I think you screwed your name. All right. Just gotta help him. Gotta help him out. And then we're good. But we are up against B6. And they're playing Skaven, which is actually a good matchup for the Nurgs. The map, Brave Alley. It's a decent-ish map. Capture points are kind of close. The Great Plague. I've been plagued. Honestly, I think Nurgle's like a really good faction to practice these kind of man-tide styles. Because you kind of have to. Kind of force into it. But yeah, dude, Skaven are super chump change. Incredibly chump change here. I'm not too worried. Still have to be a little careful, of course, but I think there'll be no issue. Hell yeah. Okay, so this spell's perfect for Skaven. How does Chosen micro their SEs so well? Lots of practice. Lots of practice, quick hands. It's not unachievable. Like, I can do it, but I have to be pretty locked in. To do it consistently for a whole tournament, that is pretty insane. Alright. Yeah, if you're playing versus Skaven, honestly, just this loadout is already kind of perfect. Plague Toads, too, actually pretty good at stalling points for Infinity in the late game. They also resummon quickly because the demons. Very nice. A lot of clicking. Yeah, like, I don't know. If in StarCraft people can dodge disruptor shots with their marines and dodge size storms and the like, you know, individually micro zerglings to the maximum effectiveness, one could imagine somebody doing the same in the Warhammers. I hope you didn't shower today just for this stream. Max Filth.
At your service!
Alright, so I'm trying to leave the tournament. Thank you very much, Frog. Welcome to the crew. Yeah, marine splitting. It's pretty nice. All right, how do I fight Skaven? Skaven are typically, you know, they're bad because they don't have a lot of cavalry options, but they're also bad because their infantry front line sucks. So I have options. Many ways to abuse the poor fools. Toad maxing. Yet honestly, maybe not toad maxing, but lots of toads, not a terrible idea. But if you just bring like a wall of dudes and march into the Skaven, honestly, they kind of just fall apart. They have some of the worst infantry in the entire game. I don't think they have a single infantry unit that uptrades into other infantry. Can you guys think of one? I guess technically Storm Vermin against units that don't do AP. But even then, like, Storm Vermin versus Plague Bearers is not bad for the Plague Bearers. Just because it's so expensive, right? And they'll still take damage. So even then, yeah, they have a really hard time finding that massive uptrade potential. Very sad, but we must abuse it if we are to win. Furies can be okay here, but they're a fast trade unit. Really good for emergencies, though, if you kind of need to get something on the field quickly. This army seems about right. Vikstrin's Death Squad. I guess they can uptrade versus dwarves. Mega Glass Cannon. But technically, I guess if they don't have the deeps. If your opponent doesn't bring the deeps to kill them, then Yeah, they can just kind of shred infantry. Very low HP though. Skaven have a minus 50 leadership bomb with Vigor Nuke I've recently discovered. How much does it cost? How much would you be willing to pay to point and click and instantly route a unit? That's an interesting thought, actually. Because all leadership bombs are basically trying to work towards that, right? You just insta-route a unit. But if it doesn't last long enough and the unit rallies, you actually just lost all your money. Though, minus 50 is pretty fun. I can say that is intriguing. I'm not entirely sure what can get the leadership so stacked up. Infantry Toads and Lore passive. I skipped the Lore passive because I just want to Rancid Visitations my opponent. And instead, we're just going to be doing it very simple. Lots of infantry. We got our festering stooges over here. I got my Rancid cooking. We got the Lord. Just some fightiness in case he goes for a bunch of SEs. Going for tons of infantry is generally a bad idea. So it should be good. Plague Bearers, yeah. There it is, there's the line. Skaven don't have a lot of good units to chase enemies off the field. I guess technically they have wolf rats. It really depends on how much money you're spending though, right? $300 items cost for minus 32, 450 for another minus 10. Oh, not just the items, man. The characters count too. Nobody runs the characters for the characters. They run them for the items. You gotta take that into account. It would be pretty funny though to route off like some big lord. Maybe just escort them off the map. But then you also need to bring a unit that is high enough balance of power, otherwise they won't keep routing. Maybe if you can bait them into like the edge of the map and you just route them off. Be a pretty sick play. What about Dowie heroes? Route off some dwarves. Oh boy, he's ready. Here we go. And what we got? It's a Globadier core. Oh, Death Globes! Hell yeah. Love that. Forgot to add the win. I'm on it. Alright, so this one's fairly simple. We got a Throt. Throt's got, some Rat Ogie summons. Ain't nothing too crazy here. It's just that. I got Rancid Visitations. Always very fun. And I just gotta let these guys cook. So it's better to wait a bit before the big push. There's no point in going in immediately. Flensing, alright. Yeah, no point going in immediately. I just need to... Oh, you want to dance? It's gonna let me get a charge on his face. Maybe we do a bit of damage to Throt. Maybe I get absolutely massacred. Gotta be a little careful here. What's he doing? What are you doing? What's this guy doing? Get out of there! Skedaddle! Okay, I'm not going to want to fight right away. That would be a bad idea. We did manage to skedaddle. Ah, crap. Ate a massive volley, though. Gotta back up from that. I kind of want to build up here. But I've accidentally lead myself into a bad situation. Now, I will be able to get a pretty nice hit on him. But I'm losing one of my most important units. Not exactly a good situation. Though the Rat Ogre is getting bullied and Throt also getting a little bullied. It's good for me. I think this is fine, though. As long as we're relatively careful. I think he whiffed the flensing, too. And, okay, yeah, I think Throt... Oh! He had to drop off his Rat Ogre payload to save himself. Very good situation for us, then. Very good. And, yeah. Overall, not a bad situation. Not a terrible situation. I would say, this is not exactly perfect for my opponent, especially if he loses his caster here. There's a lot of money being lost right now. And as I build up my tie to death here, things are only gonna get more and more nasty. There's the death globes, though. Death globes are painful. Gots to be a little careful about him. He's playing rather aggressively with them. Getting a lot of free picks, admittedly. Alley-oop. But there you go. There's a bit of a route. We can start chasing them down. I really want to just fight now, but it's probably better to just wait a hot second. We're trading okay, too. I'm gonna be able to kill off some Rat Ogres and such. He's kind of using Globadier kite strats, though. It's kind of crazy. Fun thing, though, is as soon as I get 22 Winds of Magic, I can Rancid Visitations Thwart again. And then it's basically over for my dear opponent. Caster's definitely suffering a great deal. He's going to friendly fire himself a little bit too. Value trading apparently is actually quite close. That's good. Very nice. Very nice. And come on, caster killing. That's all I really want. Just have the caster dead and out of the picture. Okay, there we go. And the guy bites the dust. Very nice. He's a friendly fire. The not so friendly fire. Hurting him pretty bad. But can he get the snipe on the Lord? I think I might want to pull the trigger now while his Lord is distracted. Ticket-wise, it ain't the end of the world. We're in an okay position. Whoop. What's Thwart doing here? Oh no, Thwart's janking. Thwart's janking it. That's not good for my opponent. Oh, if he kills my caster, though, that's still a big dub, though. Gotta peel away. We got the toads in there. Very nice. Okay. And here comes the big push. Unfortunately, caster does tear her out. If he gets one more nibble on him, that would actually be really bad. But thankfully, Leash is back into combat. Thank goodness. I'm kind of botching it, though. I'm not going to lie. Things are being slightly botched. But we'll see. Skaven have the teeth to pull victory here. I don't know. Caster definitely needs to... Whoop. Come on. Come on, you darn caster. Just kill him. Is that going to land? Okay, nice. It landed. Thank goodness. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're fine. So Thought's probably going to die from that. Or at the very least get extremely low. Caster does come back. There he goes. Very nice. Oh, jeez. Thought sniping attempt. Failing him pretty bad. And now I just need to overwhelm the lines. Just kind of push forwards. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Very botched game, though, I will say. I did not do the push well. I don't think I did anything super well here. But despite that, it still is going really well for us. And that's just because Skaven. Just Skaven things, I guess. Got the capture point. And now all these death globes and such will be having a bit of a hard time pulling through. Oh, jeez, my lord. Again, kind of worked on, just a smidge. But I got plague toads in here. There you go, big route. And here we go, Furies. So Lord can just hide. I'll use the Furies here to see what they can do. Lord will thankfully not get insta-gibbed. If I can get the triple cap, then life gets a lot simpler for me. Is that a flancing? No. Yes, okay. Not a problem. There you go, we got the point on the far side. So let's just reinforce that. And then over yonder, we should be able to rout off those guys in the distance. Whoop. You gonna summon? You have a summon? Alright, I guess I'll just land there. I don't know. If he summons dogs to defend it, it ain't too bad for me. Okay, summon some Doom Flayers. Not a big deal. I think I can actually just run away from them and be fine. That's gonna shut down his rather expensive artillery piece, which I definitely appreciate. And then I just gotta send toads on here. Overall, though, I am getting close to being army wiped. I gotta be a little careful about that. He did manage to keep a lot of his Globadiers alive. Like I said, we did not take the engagement smartly at all. But, overall, I still have a triple cap. I still have this little squad of dudes over here that'll be able to give him a tough time. A couple Skaven slaves versus the Plague Toads should be in my favor. And I doubt the Doom Flayers will be able to do too much, not with this big ol' giant debuff on his face. I think that's even going to get me a free kill over there. Very nice. And now the Furies can relocate, because these guys, even if they do rally, they're basically shut down at this point. He's brought in a chieftain to stabilize the leadership. That makes a lot of sense. Ooh, look at the Plague Toads, though. I think they might barely not hold it, however. Little bit of a Globadier volley. We're just going to dodge it. Interesting game. Oh, he has a few units in the trees there, too. Gonna have to be a little careful. Triads have arrived, too. Very interesting. I'll need a way to manage them. As long as I can hold points, we're okay. Unfortunately, middle kind of going down. I can slow these guys down, though. I think if I can just kill off the Globadiers, life is chill. He does have a lot, though, I must say. And the Triads are going to be problematic, too. Honestly, I really botched this one. I really botched this one, guys. I should have just waited. Patience is a virtue when it comes to Nurgle. And I let my Stooges take so much damage and all that. This point should still go my way, though, with the Toad showing up. We will be able to hold that. I am going to be able to kill a Globadier unit. I'll probably be able to kill another Globadier unit soon. So it's really just capturing this point then. Oh, dang. Bringing in the elites. Okay. So you have a few elite guys over there. Over yonder. I will need to secure a double cap too. If I want to... yeah, if I want to win this. So... I'm a little sussed. I think my Lord's gonna die. My opponent's probably gonna win this, guys. He's probably gonna win this just because I took such an atrocious early game engagement. Let's see here, because yeah, those Blight Scabs. I'm never gonna kill them, right? Lord's gonna die? Oh my goodness. I have forsaken Nurgle. March of the Froggos. Honestly, the Froggos did great. I should use them more. But yeah, I kind of posted my army up here. They should have been like way back. And then I just build up and then I go for a big fat push. That's honestly all you really need to deal with the Skaven 9 times out of 10. Oh dang, they're coming for me. I don't think there's any escape there. Can we get the middle point though? I do have the Furies. I'm going to try some horsemen over here. And we're going to see what we can do. Yeah, my frogs ate a lot of globe volleys. Yeah, alright, I'm just gonna tap out. We have other games to get to. Did you what played? There you go. Well played, though. Even with the Lord loss, he still managed it. Alley-oop. Yeah, I just have to get a cleaner engagement. I kind of let his death globes just get so much value. Oh, I'm up against the same guy as before. Yo, yo! Alright. Let's take a quick look at the values. Obviously, killing Thwart was amazing. These guys did okay. They actually didn't get that much. It was more the poison wind dudes that did a lot more. But yeah, this army is super susceptible to just a raw buildup. 'Tis all we needed to do. Alright, I have my opponent though. And the next map is going to be Norsca Rise. I think we can do a build up on Norsca Rise. Yeah, you had the Chieftain strats. That's fairly common tech for Skaven where you just use that to resummon. Resummon the dude and then your leadership's okay. Nurgle not equals a clean engagement? True. Alright, I got my opponent invited though. But yeah, if you want to win that, just don't let your Festering Stooges go down to half HP at the start. A high HP Festering Stooge push would have been perfect for that situation. But Kislev I can manage. I don't think it's too bad. Let's just do some of this. And then I believe Kislev is cooked. Just need to wait for my opponent to message. But yeah, kind of close game though, despite the misplays. Let's see, so on Norsca Rise, and how does one push into Kislev? So he's gonna have a lot of cavalry. Although, maybe not. I can kind of treat him as having not a lot of cavalry as long as I run Buna. Because the first 3 cav units are gonna die. Though, if he brings in things in the woods, kind of changes things up. Nurgle also doesn't have a ton of halberds. In fact, they have no halberds. But that's fine by me. Totally fine. We shall make do. Just need to set up my money spending a little. Sure, this seems alright. And then what? Yeah, 2 horsemen as usual. Totally fine. Beautiful. Unfortunately, these games are kind of slower though. I kind of need to win the next 2-3 games. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll qualify. I have like about, 55 minutes though to get the games in, so I think we're still quite comfortable. Kislev, generally pretty chumpy. You don't have to worry about them too much. Rotting Riders. Rotting Riders should be good versus Kislev, right? As long as he doesn't have Lil Grom. Like if he summons in Lil Grom, then I just don't bring in the Rotting Riders. But if I wait for him to summon something in and then call them, then he gets kind of screwed. Because you're not just going to sit around and wait for the little Grom summon. That would just be terrible. And my opponent cannot join. If they host, that should be fine though. Alrighty. Nurgle Resurgence. The goal is to win all our games from here on out. Map should be Norsca Rise, right? Okay, there we go. They said it. Okay. So, yeah, I think I have about everything I need. This is a fairly standard build. Nothing too crazy. We got our Plague Toads. The sick Plague Toads. I have enough money for a Chaos Warhound Poison. I feel like I might as well just summon Nurglings, but it's actually kind of hard to say which is better, Nurglings or the Warhounds. Warhounds are faster. I feel like Nurglings are just the worst. Does anyone else just completely hate Nurglings? I know Terran loves them, but I've never really enjoyed Nurglings. Been studying for an exam for about 5 days straight. Jeez. The only break I enjoy is watching you in Turin stream. Well, best of luck. It seems like you are making sure you are very prepared for this exam, though. I have full confidence in you. Though I'm sure that doesn't make it any less stressful. Toad's always horribly disappointed you in campaign. Toads on legendary difficulty. Well, actually, no. It's not the legendary difficulty. It's the fact that they're trading units. So any unit that you send in and will trade roughly equal their value is really bad in campaign. Because the AI makes more money than you. So if you just trade 1-to-1, it's real bad. With the with multiplayer, you don't care about that as much. You're actually you love units that you can send in to trade evenly. So what you end up having is campaign players. They love units with really high trading potentials. And for multiplayer, they really like just raw, or typically, because you need a variety of units to strategically win, just a slight trading advantage is all they need. Favorite monstrous unit? First thing that came to mind was Hell Pit Abomination. But maybe there's one I enjoy more. Let's see, where am I on the ladder right now? I think I'm back at 1000 MMR. Gonna make things a little sketchy. A lot of signups today too, by the way. The giant. That's yours, Dangler. But alright. I think this should be fairly straightforward. Just do a little bit of a build up. Just a wee little build up. I have a ton of dudes. With dude maxing. Here you go. And then I got my Buna caster. It's nothing crazy. Ready, good luck, have fun. It truly is nothing too insane. This is just trusting in the process. If he goes for tons of infantry, we can just run him down, no problem. Have you tried the Nurgle melee attack debuff build? I think I tried something similar to it before. The thing about multiplayer, though, is that most damage is not melee damage. So, unfortunately, it's not that good. I would much prefer a charge bonus reduction build that gets rid of the charge bonus of my opponent permanently. Unfortunately, that is not what we have been blessed with. So I'll just let him capture this high ground point and come in later with the Nurglings. Just steal it. We're gonna have lots of infantry over here. I'll be able to capture my first point. And then if he leaves a unit here, it's not too bad because they'll just kind of be standing there with my Nurglings. Noxbringer shot number 1. Gonna get a pretty decent hit. Always make sure you are close range with your Noxbringer to get the best hits. And maybe we take another pot shot. See some armored Kossars here that could use some cooking. Interesting to see that he doesn't have any more cavalry this time around. Has opted against it. Makes a decent amount of sense. Look at them horse archers. What are they doing? Is that gonna be a little Grom, perhaps? Maybe. It's a stealth unit. He brought the ambushers, just like last time. Alright. Nothing too crazy then. It's a, yeah, it's a Kislev build. Interesting that he has fire at will turned off. Is he waiting? Whoa. Oh, man, those Noxbringer shots. Noxbringer's cooking them. And this is where we go for the big play. So I just go for a big fat push. Lots of infantry. And I would say, yeah, if I just take a bunch of armored infantry, these guys have already been softened up. So And he has a bunch of skirmishers. It should be pretty easy for me to win the fight against these guys. I should, in theory, just need to march forwards and we're good here. There's no cavalry support, which I believe sets him back pretty hard. Okay, and he's gonna go for the things in the woods. So they're obviously a great Buna target. Nothing wrong about that. How do I want to counter them though? Honestly, more toads. More toads! Let's go! Alright, and obviously the Chaos Warriors will be able to beat a couple Kossars. Got two guys over here. They'll be able to hold the line. Oh, he brought the ROR things in the woods? Dude, that's just a value magnet for me. Honestly, works pretty well for me. I just want to chuck the Buna out on him. And then I am very happy. And honestly, just more toads, right? Oh, a little bit of lag. The lag is back. Shall it stabilize? Perhaps. Let's position this Forsaken unit to maybe get through the gaps. You can see the Kossars do no damage to these guys. And all I gotta do now, get one last pot shot with the Noxbringer. There's that sound cue telling me that it actually did trigger. This is interesting. The horse archers are roughly even to my great weapons. The horse archers won't be able to capture the point, but they can remaneuver pretty fast. And I don't want him to draw my Chaos Warriors into an out of position type circumstance. Interesting. We see some cavalry. All right, toad it up. Yeah, I got the toads. They're running in. We have some real bad lag with this player, though. I know, dude. At the worst time, too. This is the second time the lag is triggered at the moment of impact. I don't think there's really any advantage to be gained. Either way, though. It's just very annoying. I think the Noxbringer, I kind of missed if it took its shot or not. It's been a while. But here's the thing, right? After these armored Kossars are dead, there's really nothing left. These normal halberd Kossars can't really cook super well against this. I am filled with a sense of confidence. Almost got that high ground play. Any moment now. Things will be good. Oh boy. Some real bad lag though. Anyways, the Buna is going to be getting me crazy value. Take a look at this guy. Whoop. Whoop. Chaos Sorcerer Lord and Nurgle. Yeah, we're already 1/3 of the way through Buna, so it's about 600 gold per cast. Generally speaking, very nice for us. I can spaghetti line my Forsaken here. Okay, finally. And the lag subsides. It's a bloody miracle. Alright, here we go. Oh crap, it's a Miska. I can dodge that though, no problem. If only servers existed. Noxbringer took another shot. Hopefully he doesn't friendly fire these guys. Yeah, has all his torrents running. There was a recent update that CA put out that really made the lag super bad. Did this guy get his value yet? So I don't know if it's even tracking the value properly. And nearly there though. Give it a second. Unfortunately, this means I get to play fewer games. But I think this match will probably be settled pretty soon. Rock, paper, scissors and call it a day, yeah. But yeah, I don't really want to like, you know, enforce anything here. Because this is totally a creative assembly issue. You don't have to play Nurgle this slow. Redeem to hydrate. Thank you. It's okay. We're almost through the worst of it, I think. The storm will pass. I don't think I should send the toads onto the Kislevite warriors. Let's send them over here instead. Ah, hell yeah, I got enough money for another toad though. That's right. Just give it a couple of years. Alright. Abandon RTS, return to turn-based mechanics. Anyways, I think we'll be fine though. Unless these wing lancers start cleaning up everything. Which they might. I don't have more magic for the Bunas. Oh, it's coming together, boys. It's happening. Ooh, maybe I can get that Lord Snipe. Maybe. He's not capturing this point. He's probably going to be triple cap very soon. And then his archers will be compromised. So this should be pretty good for me. Let's just get the Forsaken on that Lord. I got the Noxbringer coming in with the full melee. These Chaos Warriors are going to break though. The leadership is too low. Getting charged at by these guys will be their death sentence. Though if I countercharge them at the right time, mayhaps we'll have a chance. Yeah, there we go. Noxbringer's almost there. This could go south though, if I'm not careful. I think these Chaos Warriors being out of position is definitely kind of sus. Seems like he might be going for a rear charge on these warriors though. And they won't rout. Not to horse archers. So that part's definitely a big bonus. We got the toads on his armored Cossars now. Expect them to break very soon. Next slide. Dude, this is straight suffering. This is not the suffering I signed up for. At the very least, after this game, I should have enough time for 2 more. So as long as I win, we'll be good. Alright, so there's the rear charge. I wonder, if I give these guys an attack command, how does that work against these horse archers? Is it in my favor, or should I not be giving counter charges once they charge into the rear? Does make me wonder a little bit. These guys should definitely have an attack command, by the way. That's just because charging increases your leadership, so that should keep them in the fight ever so slightly longer. Big Miska, though. A little terrifying. Here it comes. And go. Actually, I think the Noxbringer can get a 6 shot in there. Huzzah, it works. We did it. The internet has been fixed. Dang, he routs him. Gets the terror with the Lord. Alright, that actually worked out for my opponent much better than I thought it would. A little bit unfortunate for me then. Though I should be able to get some toads through here. Should be able to jump them ambushers. I will have some great weapon dudes over here too. The question is whether or not the Noxbringer can kill off the Lord. That's a pretty big route though. Don't like that very much. But we did manage to jump the ambushers. Alright. I'd say not too bad. That's a fairly nice round, but I don't know if it's going to win them the game. Let's slow these guys down. There you go. Okay, and then there's another wing lancer. Oh, he does kill the guys over there. Honestly, he got a pretty nice route there. Actually worked out pretty well for my opponent. Oh crap, I have toads AFK. Well, that's not gonna work. Some Nurglings versus horse archers. We'll see how that goes. Dude, those toads got mega routed. Are you kidding me? Alright, maybe Nurgle's infantry front line not nearly as good as I gave him credit for. Yeah, those toads got deleted. How'd they die so fast? They must have gotten clipped by the Miska. At least I suspect that's what happened. Alright, here we go. Didn't get the middle point either. Very unfortunate. But I will be able to get a lot of damage on his lord. I do have another Buna. Gonna be able to hit up them winged lancers. Hopefully get him killed. Okay, Nurglings versus the Mordheim boys. But overall, not going nearly as well as I would have hoped for. That was actually some big routes. I also haven't been spending my money. Whoopsie daisies. Whoopsie daisies. That explains why my army feels so much smaller. That ain't good. And alright, here we go. Now we go for the Lord. So I'm gonna need to make use of these Rotting Riders, but things have gotten quite a bit more sketchy after that initial little play over there. Noxbringer should be able to get a decent hit on the back of the Lord, though. And now he's gonna get the cavalry on it. Dang, alright. Pretty sus. The question is, though, does he have summons? I definitely have a lot of toads. He's gonna bring in a Patriarch, which is actually pretty good for me. Patriarch doesn't super uptrade or anything. That'll be a pretty decent charge into them armored Kossars. I just have to keep this Noxbringer alive, and I think the dream still holds. Though I'm going to have to worry about uptrading now. Okay, Noxbringer shot. Coming in hot. He's gonna take this point. That ain't pretty at all. Dude, the jump on the ambushers was real bad. It was a bad idea. And I should feel bad that I attempted it. Let's see if we can get a big Noxbringer shot on the wolf hearts here. I will also go for a couple doggos. We'll see how they do versus the horse archers. That toad core is gonna die though. That ain't pretty. But the Rot Knights, nah, they ain't doing too well either. Dang it. Yeah, no, I just massively downtraded after that initial fight. Brutal. Minus 16. Well, my Lord's gonna live, but I think it's just minus whatever amount the game is. Down way too much value now. What a strange situation. It's very hard to judge, I find, the effectiveness of a Nurgle infantry charge. There's Damiska. Oh, my poor dogs, man. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about the toads either. They felt kind of jank, though. I'm gonna play it out just to see where we end up. Okay. Doggo's actually rallied in a pretty good position. That's nice. I feel like the toads just have no leadership, though, right? Yeah, so the Miskas actually end up being super duper effective there. Brutal. Gonna have some Nurglings on the point, though. They'll be okay. I kind of just need to get myself off a triple cap to start, and then maybe focus on uptrading, and then I think we have a chance. Yeah, it was really weird that toads just got insta-gibbed, but I think it's it was just some crumbling that did it. I'm not entirely sure, though. It's very strange. I still got a Buna, though. He has his SEs, but I got some Rot Knights. I'll be able to heal up most of their damage. He has some cavalry, some winged lancers. Not the worst for my axe throwers, though. And in general, I'd say this is still playable, but generally speaking, not very favored for me. Hey, gotta caught some Kislevite warriors. That's good. I just need to hold the double cap for a decent amount of time. These Nurglings should, in theory, uptrade versus the cavalry too, on account of having their damage reflect. So I can make use of that. And that should be the end of the Kislevite warriors. Very nice. Yeah, he's actually took a lot of damage on his cavalry there. Wow. It's the first time I've seen those Nurglings do so well, actually. Very nice to see. Actually just gonna run these guys in. And okay. You know what? That's what we're gonna play for then. Get a little bit of a double cap situation and kind of sit back and relax on that. I think these Kislevite warriors have had just about enough of this situation, so they'll be routing. Okay. And then maybe I can make a play for point number 2 over here. He's committed a lot onto the high ground. And the axe throwers will be very annoying. I'm actually just going to turn on skirmish mode on them. He should not be able to catch me with that on. But let's throw down the slow just in case. Okay, and they're just gonna skirmish their way home. Not too bad, though. You will be able to re-secure the high ground point soon enough. Skirmish mode, making them run away for too far. Okay, actually not the biggest fan of that then. But the hope is I can make a play for the middle since he's been summoning so much here. He's gonna get it though. He's gonna get the high ground with all these guys. So new play. I'm gonna have to come around over here and see what we can do. Unfortunately, he netted my rotting riders. Oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, this ended up not working out super well. I thought the engagement would go much better, but it really went badly. Nurgling mini bomb on the cavalry was good though, yeah. But the rotting riders kind of were a big loss indeed. Seems like we still have a ways to go with the Nurgs. No, we'll have some Froggos here. We're gonna have some cavalry on the far side. I think he wins on a 1 cap though. Alright. GG, well played. Alright. Well, that's gonna hurt my running for the semifinals. We might not be able to make it, but if I can get enough wins fast enough, we'll be okay. Brutal though. The Chaos Warriors felt garbage. I don't know about you guys. These guys feel real bad. I feel like I almost just want to spam Forsaken instead. They're very slow on the approach and they were pretty easily routed. Oh, whoops, left that too early. Let's take a look at the leadership comparison. Forsaken technically have less leadership. Interesting. But yeah, we're 1-1 versus Kislev. Toads on the first push didn't feel super great either, must I say. But alright, we're up against Ben Chu next. Alright. Well, if I can get 3 wins, so 2 wins in the next 30 minutes, and then get a 3rd win in, I think we can still technically make it. So we're gonna have to be fast here. The map is Altar of the Champion. Alright. And this is a more close quarters map. My opponent is Norsca. So alright. I think, let's see here. So Norsca likes to spam a lot of Bearmen. I think that's okay. Oh boy, you need the Pox Riders. Maybe. They would have more leadership. Let's see here. Let's go for... If I'm playing versus Norsca, what do I want? Doom and Darkness is actually not terrible against them. I could also take this again. Alright, sure. Let's try it out. Ugh, bro. That push, though, felt so limp. I might just swear off the Chaos Warriors. They seem so bad. Is it just me, or are they actually just terrible? I don't know. Further investigation certainly needed. For now, though, we gotta fight the Norskins. Now, Norsca, they got a lot of horsemen play. You're not gonna beat them with your own horseman play. Very important to note. But there are many other options at our disposal. So let's just run a little bit of this, a couple of these in case we do see a monster. And then, let's see, do I want Chosen versus Norsca? Chosen could be okay. I think like as a one-off, it's probably fine. And then I kind of just need to uptrade against them. Honestly, I don't feel super great about Plague Toads anymore. They never trade, they just absorb damage. Gotta really learn the ins and outs. Without building the trust of my army to just grind in melee, we will never get to where we want to be. But this at least seems not too bad. Do I want Bile Trolls? I haven't experimented a lot with them. They do have a leadership debuff. But I'm not exactly leadership bombing here. I have Rotting Riders. I think they're always just pretty good. So maybe we'll just try this. Sure. Why not? And then you know what? One Pox Rider. Because it was mentioned. Norsca has no answer for Exalted Plague Bearers. Yes, totally zero answers. Great Weapon Warriors versus Cav. Or hold infantry trade value. Or hold infantry trade value. Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. They never trade, they just absorb damage on Great Weapon Warriors versus Cav. Oh, I see. Or hold infantry, or trade for value, I assume is what you mean. Great Weapon Plague Ogres are basically Minotaur Great Weapons, really? I'll have to look into that more then. That's quite the sell. I imagine they're slightly slower, but a little tankier. Still just as high damage. I can look into it. Ready, good luck, have fun. But yeah, that last game I definitely should have just used the Noxbringer to poke him down more. I think Nurgle can do pretty well just poking with the Noxbringer before the main fight. I kind of thought he got enough damage though. But anyways, build is fairly straightforward. We got our Rancid Visitations, the huge. Nothing too crazy at all. It's gonna be some horsemen to start. We'll see if he decides to respect the Noxbringer. Okay. Stop moving, which does give the Noxbringer an opportunity to attack. Gets a pretty devastating volley. Return fire looking good. And honestly, that really worked those horsemen. Gonna get a little bit of a dodge over there. Noxbringer. Dang, Noxbringer shoots fast. Okay. Gotta keep that in mind for future. But overall, I'd say this is an okay situation. I actually have quite a bit of fast infantry here that can get a lot of work done. Now, there is a Chimera in the skies. Breath attack is dropped. Obviously going to get lots of damage, but the Noxbringer is getting a lot of damage itself too. So this is kind of like an army wipe kind of build. He wants to wipe me off the entire map. Very reasonable. But will it work? We shall see. Chimera definitely is not going to like getting hit by the Rancid Visitations. We know he doesn't have enough magic for a final transmutation either. And that's going to put him in an awkward situation, because you can see this little fight pit over here is really working that Chimera. Lots of damage. Woo! Oh my gosh, dude, the Chimera's getting worked on so hard. This might even be a perfect time to rout it off with the big old Rancid Visitations. Can hopefully run him off this point over here. But yeah, if he loses that, that's a really bad situation. Oh my goodness. The Chimera's dead. Little hero squad over here, doing very well, as they typically do. And I think that might have just thrown him the game. Solid, very solid little play we managed there. Crammed straight into the corner, the poor thing. Okay. And now all I gotta do is disengage with the little hero squad, get them out of the bearmen who have a lot of mass, and think about making some plays elsewhere. So we got Pox Riders. I'm interested to see how they do here today. I will say I'm not entirely convinced of their ability to do well, but you really never know in these situations. I'm gonna go for the middle point, since there's a lot of money over here, and my army's very slow. Ooh, there's the slow. Very nice. Oh. There you go. Just got a little bit of a split C. Stop the final transmutation from doing too much. Okay, here we go. Gonna get a fairly nice engagement on that far side. Got more Forsaken. Alright. And we got a few of his cav units. I would say this is okay. We just got that damage reflect going too, so that's gonna actually destroy these poor horsemen. Looks like he didn't notice it either. Very, very nice. And overall value trading is pretty good. Pox Riders, okay versus the Berserkers. Nothing mind-blowing, but definitely getting the deeps on. So now the next order of operations is probably killing this rather exposed Fimir unit. And then using maybe some horsemen over here to bully the infantry. We're not really going for a victory ticket situation. I'm actually just going full army trading. Gonna soften up that charge a little bit so the Forsaken can stick around. Whoop, come on. There you go. And overall, I'd say this is quite good. As long as the Forsaken don't end up dying here, I'm pretty happy. Pox Riders. What's their value so far? Dang, already 600. Alright. So today I learned Pox Riders are actually pretty hyped then. Maybe not absolute world beaters, but definitely they can get a little bit of damage in. This general lack of mobility means probably my instincts tell me more horsemen is still okay. I may be completely wrong about that, but we'll see. If I can kill off these Fimir though, we're good. A little bit of housekeeping. There we go. We're going to turn on skirmish mode to make life a little bit easier. But yeah, hopefully I can get these guys killed. Hey, nice. We did get the Fimir. Hell yeah. Okay, alright. Oh, crap. I know Kurgans do 1,000,000 damage if they actually get the surround on you. Gotta be super careful about that. But yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. All I really gotta do right now is continue the up trading, and then we're set. And then we're perfectly set. I have rancid visitations for his lord too. Actually, housekeeping. Yeah, and if I can just get a little bit of damage on him, he's a goner. I think Noxbringer just helped delete all that infantry too. Perfect. Very nice. This unit, I'm just gonna have them keep chasing off the Fimir. I think it's technically not full value because they're just gonna get run down. But the thing that's good about this is that the Fimir won't rally. I very much so don't want that to happen. Because if they do and they get back into combat, they can potentially do a lot of damage. Ooh, look at that slow though. Apparently something routed. Pestigors, again, a big ol' slow, okay. Might be able to catch his lord then if I'm lucky. And he's gonna summon more horsemen right onto the Noxbringer, love it. Yeah, not too bad, I'd say. Especially now that his lord's getting a little run down. If I can get that Rancid Visitations overcast, we know that does an absurd amount of damage. Should get about 2/3 of his lord's HP off the table. He's going to cast another Final Transmutation, but just on a couple horsemen. And I don't think that's going to be enough. His lord dies with very little value to his name, only 600. And that means we probably did it. A Nurgle victory. I just have to speedrun the next one. In the next 15 minutes, hopefully. Speed running continues. Can we take point 3? We can now. I kind of wanted to make sure I had enough units here to actually secure points. But now that we do, I'm feeling good. Yeah, I feel like Forsaken are way better. Their maneuverability seems to just help me out a lot. Whereas Chaos Warriors, they don't even hold very long, do they? I think I might just write off Chaos Warriors entirely. Forsaken for life, man. He's actually going to be able to contest point 3, though. Come on! Don't drag it out. Gonna need my opponent to leave the game as soon as possible. This is the only way we can get our last game done soon enough. Should be a pretty good shot for the Noxbringer if I position right. He might be too close, though. Oh, come on, Noxbringer. Come on, man. Noxbringer. Units are too close for him to shoot. Gonna have to move him a little further away and wheel him around. But no, he shoots at another unit instead. Absolute rip-off situation. Yeah, 46 speed versus 28 speed. These guys are crazy fast. Definitely want to keep them around. But yeah, this is going to be bad. Oh, and there's the slow. Oh no, 9 speed cav. Alright, that should be the nail in the coffin. At this point, there's basically no coming back. There you go. Massive. Massive slow. Jeez. I will say when the Pestigore slow hits, it's so good. Because it's basically Nurgle's army ability, but even better. So it can be extraordinarily high DPS. If I can route these guys off near the Pestigores. Slow them down some more. Dang, my opponent's sticking with it though. Completely in their right, but it means it's going to be a little harder for me to make it to the top 4. If we don't, though, you know, it happens. How are you supposed to say you're doing good with Nurgle when you lose twice as them in one tournament, right? Yeah, Pestigore ability is super clutch. Whoop, a little bit of a dodge. There we go. Yo, it's weird that it has a little shooty animation before it actually shoots. Don't know what that's about. Okay, and he's just gonna go mad dash for this 1 point. It's only 1 point, though. It's not going to be enough. Had to complete the Toad arc in 2 games. Honestly, it's just Forsaken Pestigores for life. Sometimes you can run a few Toads, but that's about it. He does actually kill the Noxbringer, by the way, but that's not going to be enough. I have yet more Forsaken coming in hot. Now, Nurgle's Forsaken are kind of weird. Reason being, they... whoop. They have higher melee defense, which is like not a stat that Forsaken need. And they lose some melee attack, which is a stat that they really need. But I think the extra HP alone is honestly not bad for them. Okay, nice. Yeah, he ain't getting this point. I got my horsemen here. And that's going to be GG. Okay. Nice. Very nice. GG. Okay. I need to win my next game in 14 minutes. If I can do that, then we might have a chance of making it. Though, 2 losses sets me back so hard. I think my elo is like only at 1,000. Yeah, I would need to win the next game and the one after that. And then I have a chance. Definitely sus though. Take a look. Noxbringer is really good though. I should just keep taking the Noxbringer always. Like, Noxbringer plus a bunch of infantry is not the worst. And I think the micro on it can still go higher yet. Yeah, Pestigores and Forsaken just kind of uptrade. They're just good infantry. So I guess that's a bonus. The Plague Toads were okay. For my opponent, not too much value. Obviously, we got a free pick on the Chimera. As for the Femir, though, yeah, they kind of got beat up. Not the worst. This is definitely the bread and butter, though. I think any diversion from this makes your build way worse. I think the Chaos Warriors are actually the hottest garbage I've ever seen. What's your leadership? It's 75. In theory, the leadership is not bad. And it's technically better than the Pestigors and the Forsaken, but dang, man. Turns goated with Nurgle and he loses all the time. Brutal. Although, there's probably people who are better at Nurgle than Chosen, since we have Berserk. And... Or better than Turin, yeah. Because you have Berserk and Chosen. Who both like to sprinkle a little bit of Nurg action. I also got I got a meme. Very nice. Where is it at? Let's see here. Downloads. Look at this. Look at this beautiful meme. Ah, yeah. Pretty good. Unfortunately, they kind of suck most of the time. I wonder how you're supposed to deal with cavalry. Oh yeah, I should check the Plague Ogres. Are they actually good here or what? Oh wait, crap, I have my opponent. Martin! Alright. Yo! Okay. Here we go. So I gotta win this one and the next game, and then I have a chance. But time-wise, I do not have a lot of time at all. So fingers crossed this works. 10 minutes, guys. I got 10 minutes. Clock's ticking. 10 minutes and 25 seconds. Come on, Martin, respond to me. What's their faction? None. Okay. I'm Nurgle. So, if they have no faction selected, that means that they're going to be counter-picking me. Not good in the slightest. Very not good. Oh yeah, Plague Ogres. Yes. Are these guys Minotaurs? Let's compare them to the Beastmen Minotaurs, the lesser Minos. So Plague Ogres, they have anti-large. They have anti-large of 26. Minotaur great weapons. They have worse stats. It's just a speed. Just a speed diff and some price. Because these guys are 1250. Plague Ogres have ITP though. They don't have Blood Greed, which actually does impact their damage a lot. So the melee attack's going to be worse. But yeah, you can kind of treat them like tankier, slower Minotaurs. Blood Greed's insane though. Plus 16 melee attack for getting some kills. Crazy. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Let's do this. Face me, Martin. What's the map? Blazing Ramparts? Okay. The odds that I finish this game soon enough are quite low, though. And the odds that I can win the next two matches are also quite low, but we're gonna go for it regardless. Darn Nurgle game's so slow. I guess I'll just focus on winning this one. Yeah, I'll just focus on winning this one. Let's also save this build. It's not a bad build. Probably cut the pox fighter, so... I don't know how I feel about Toad still. They seem super sus. I will consider the Plague Ogres out. Dude, they're so expensive though. They're 200 gold more. So like, not only... They have to be 20% more effective than Minotaurs. I think that's probably the sketchiest part about the unit. Yeah, rush to win fast and throw it. The true Anticity plays. Definitely a little sketchy. A little bit sketchy of a unit. I guess let's just focus on winning this one. And then we can get into the top 4 right away. Is my opponent coming though? Or is he not able to join my lobby? Are we gonna get more lag issues? In a moment now. Is there anything I would want to change though with this? Toad feels like they don't connect a lot of the time. Yeah, their movement animations are super weird. They're the only unit that hops, right? They don't have a constant speed unlike other units. So it can really make things janky. Empire, Cathay, and Beastmen. I'll play versus Empire. That should be pretty good practice. Alright. We're on Blazing Ramparts. Empire, you say. Empire is not too bad. I think we can manage them. They're gonna have a little bit of cavalry. Not too problematic though. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Roughly speaking, Empire, they probably want a kite here, right? Probably just want a kite. So I just have to make sure my Noxbringer don't die. Gotta keep it safe. I think I do still have to bring a Noxbringer, but the ability to just shoot the wagons so that they don't have ammunition probably does it for me. Unless he goes the engineer kite though. If he goes full ultra kite with the engineers, I might just be screwed. Because I don't know if I have the HP pool to survive that. Although, from memory, people play this pretty differently. So maybe I can just do this. Maybe I can just do this, and this is enough versus Empire. Kind of a strange way to go about it, but feels actually not too bad. Nox is a trap here. Yeah, I think Nox might actually screw me over because Empire is one of those factions that does not have a lot of leadership breaking capabilities. And that opens up the door to a lot of units you would typically not see. So if I just play it out like this, maybe we can win it. He's gonna have a lot of cav, that's for sure. Not a big dealio though. Yeah, just have to make sure the Outriders and such aren't too problematic. Though, if you Nurgle, you obviously have a ton of answers to Outriders. Yeah, this just feels like a solid build. You know what, let's just try it out. We're here to get experience with the Nurgle and to trust our infantry. To witness their capabilities. And the grand final shall begin soon. So far, if you take a look at the leaderboard on my Discord, it appears we have 4 people that'll be making it. We got B6, Berserker, Melkor, and Big B's. A terrifying lineup. Let's see here. So it's going to be Skaven, Vampire Counts, and Norsca. Oh boy. Yo, Vampire Count's going to be pretty scary. It should be a fun finals. Plague drones against Empire? That's crazy. Probably not. But yeah, in general though, people say this is pretty bad for Empire, so I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I'm just gonna go with stock standard Nurgle, just to kind of get a feel for the situation. And this is just going to be a fat stuff 'em up kind of strat. Just stuff 'em up. Get a whole bunch of dudes. Walk forwards. Ain't no problem. Because generally speaking, Empire doesn't have a lot. Oh, looks like there was a bit of crash. Come on, my dude. Although, what if it was me? Alright. There's a desync? Oh, okay. Just CA things then. Alright. Set up a new lobby. Well, we got to see his build. He has a Hellblaster volley gun. Wow. Lots of great swords, some swordsmen. Lots of Free Company militia. Lots of very elite cavalry, which Buna is kind of perfect against. I did have Buna. Burning Headcaster, most likely. But yeah, I'm planning to just stall him with this. Chunky lads everywhere, yeah. Mantide is how you do Empire. Is how you beat Empire or how you play Empire? I feel like Mantide, if your Mantiding is Empire, it's it's kind of It can be good for sure. I found that there's a few builds that can punch through their Mantide though, with just some ultra high DPS infantry. Weirdly enough, the Karen raid spam seems to do really well to beat Empire. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yo, Martin though, what's going on? He's not even responding to me. I think his PC exploded. That would be very unfortunate. But they are currently unresponsive. Ah, there they are. Alright. Okay, they saved the build. Hell yeah. Alright, let's get into the game then. I'm getting antsy. I want to play my Nurgle matches. Hey, there we go. But yeah, it looks like Big B's and Malcor are definitely going to make it. Berserker also going to make it. Their MMR is so high. They're all at 1100. Most of them. So it's really... oh, Charx is here today. Interesting. Who's Charx playing against? Berserker. Okay. So if Charx beats them, they'll probably dethrone B6. Although B6 is also playing a match. Interesting. I wonder if Charx is going to make it. Got a lot of big names today. But anyways, for me, we're just going to play a nice, simple game. So we're just going to go for the early captures. And I'm just going to, excuse me, full press the Empire at the very start. And this should hopefully get me a good sense of how good these guys are. Gonna go very aggressively positioned. Actually, you know what? Maybe I want to do something like this, just so I don't get overextended. Yeah. But yeah, I do really wonder if we just kind of walk forwards, how well does this do? I personally hate this kind of play style, but I really gotta practice it. We got fairly good close capture points too, so as I summon in units, they can easily defend multiple capture points at the same time. We're gonna see a very nice defensive position being taken here by my dear opponent. Not bad. No healing for Plague Ogres seem kind of sketchy. You have no healing for Minotaurs too. In theory, it should be fine either way. Knights of the Black Rose, by the way, have a lot of HP. Gotta be a little careful about that. But from the get-go, I just kind of want to maybe just get a Buna on the grenade launchers and just shut them down. Or we get the Furies. Furies could do real well here, that's for sure. I'm just going to go for that full court press, as Turin says it. Going to see if the Knights of the Black Rose absolutely cook my face here. Pestigors. Tanked the charge decently well. Guess I could have done slightly better if I had my lord there, but that's okay. And we're just gonna bully the Outriders. That's the goal. In the meantime, the tides of Nurgle, they march forwards. Now I bring in Forsaken. And we're just gonna keep them busy for the next 50 years. That's the goal. It's gonna be a hot second. You can see he wants to use the Knights of the Black Rose on these guys. Gonna get a pretty sick burning head over there too. Probably gonna suffer some routes. Whoop. Oh, I will have the damage reflect on the Furies though. That could be fun. That's what you guys have been talking about this whole time, right? Get a little bit of damage reflect. So I think the Outriders will be dead. Outriders will probably be dead. I'm happy with that. The damage taken should basically make them useless here. And then I just have to make sure this point doesn't fall. Which seems like it's going pretty well. Greatswords are kind of being a bit useless over there. I'm finding I'm lacking things to micro right now. It's kind of funny. But hey, look at that. Outrider's dead. And Buna cooked the Knights of the Black Rose. So that's going to hurt him pretty bad. It's quite a vicious setback. I hate this position though. Feels like I'm just down trading severely and he's just going to army wipe me. But you got to trust in the Nurgle. Trust in the Nurgle, guys, okay? The Plague Father would not hurt us so if it did not result in victory. Dang, these greatswords are really being useless, aren't they? That's very good for me. Gonna get another burning head, though. A little painful. But my guys are pushing in decently well. I'll be able to get some backfield plays, potentially. Lord is finding something useful to do. Holy Crossfire on my Forsaken, though. You know what? I'm gonna bail out on that. And you know what? We're just gonna keep spamming Forsaken. You know, Forsaken for life. Great swords are probably feeling pretty useless right now. I do love that. Lord is still alive too. And I guess I'm just leaving this artillery piece alive. What is this game? What is this game even? Should be able to surround these great swords though. That should be a nice little overwhelm. And then the idea is I get the damage reflect going. And that'll just help all the DPS do what it is supposed to do. That should, in theory, bully the greatswords enough for me to claim some sort of victory on that frontline fight. Triple cap is still going strong too. Man, this feels bad though. This feels so bad. I hate this playstyle so much. It just feels like I'm falling behind, bro. Trust the process though. Just like any plague, you're gonna feel bad for a bit, but you're gonna come out of it feeling better, stronger even, potentially. Oh boy, dude, the greatswords are even kind of cooking on this far point. Overall, not a lot of units left, let me tell you. A couple swordsmen are here, but hey, I got Furies. We got some Furies we can dive on in with. They can actually probably kill these here Free Company Militia. That'll be pretty fun. That's a solid enough pick. And hey, look at this. Great swords. And they're gonna actually do pretty well. They actually chunked the Pestigors pretty well. So I'm gonna have to disengage with them. But I did manage to hurt their overall capture weight, which I think is still very worth. That's a brutal, absolutely brutal burning head though. Clips of Forsaken too, gonna hurt my leadership. We even get a rout. Wow, okay. Pain and suffering. It's just pain and suffering across the board. I'm at 850 tickets though. That's gotta be worth something. There's a damage reflect too. That's gonna be nice. And I got a heal. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Heal up the boys. Let's see here. You have a spearman unit over there and some flagellants. All right. Am I ever gonna kill this thing? I don't think so. Honestly, I think more Furies is a bad idea. I should focus on... Okay, never mind. I don't have much else to summon. So more Furies it shall be. However, look at this. We can stall a capture point for a good amount of time. I got Forsaken over here. They're still chunking away. That's pretty good. And if they kill all the capture weight, how's he going to take the point, right? It's impossible. Just got to play keep away. Play super annoying and we'll be fine. He's making a bit of a play for the middle area. That's okay. Jeez Louise, can I have some chaff to summon? That would be very much appreciated. Lots killing here though. I think the Forsaken, honestly, if I could only summon Forsaken, I would be happy. Let's see here. I think we're just gonna get this guy literally for capture weight. He also has the Buna. He has a case of the Bunes. We can use that. We're gonna play some sick point shenanigans here. Slow him down. Don't let him get the point. And now we wait to see where we can check out the Buna. Free Company Militia disengaging. I will be able to hold this point. Yes, for a little bit longer. This one will take forever to capture at this rate. Not bad. Furies doing pretty well versus Spearmen. You love to see it. Hey, look at that. All right. Point's gonna hold. Do I want to commit to this point, though? I think I do, honestly. The Forsaken are sick. They ain't falling. Furies have routed off a unit, and the triple cap continues. Are we gonna do it? Is this gonna work? This feels like absolutely something that should not work. Ah, hell yeah. Damage reflect time. Boom, baby. Get them, boys. They're doing the best. And then he summons a unit of great swords. They're gonna take too long to get to the point. This one's just never gonna get captured. Hell yeah. I think we did it. This is so dumb though. I hate this so much. I have never had a faction that I dislike playing as much as Nurgle. This felt so bad. And then we win after? Oh man. I think it's the lack of being able to predict it though, right? If I could predict that this is what's gonna happen every time, then yeah, I would feel a little bit more comfortable doing this. But I do personally feel like my opponent, if they played slightly more efficiently, we'd just be dead. I think if they sent the Flagellants here instead of here, I would just lose, right? So this is definitely not a safe playstyle by any means. Yes, 40 seconds, 35 seconds to get the last point. That's not going to be enough, though. That's not going to be enough. It should be a fairly simple process to hold this point. I got 6 capture weight right here. It takes about 20 seconds to capture a point, too. Or it takes 40 seconds. It takes 40 seconds if you just have 1 unit of infantry on it. So, definitely not going to make it. Fun game, though. Fun game. I think this really gave me a good sense of Nurgle's capabilities. Gave me a solid sense of it. Honestly, it feels like you can almost just go a normal infantry build against them and do pretty well. Just kind of take high DPS infantry. Like these great swords. Yeah, damage reflect on the great swords. Could have done a good amount of damage to him. We got some pretty decent damage reflects around though. Did not get the best Bunas, let me tell you. I also just let this thing shoot at me forever, but he was defending it. So Furies, if I just chucked a Fury on it, it wouldn't have killed it. I would need like 2 Furies. But maybe that's that would have been worth it. Free Company got hella value. That was terrifying. But I guess it worked out in the end. Definitely did not need the Plague Ogres though for a stuff 'em up style. That was a little silly. But okay. Now we wait for top 4. There's a few games that still need to finish. Melkor, Berserk. Mr. Razak made it to top 4. Barely though. They might be overtaken. And it seems like the top players is Big Bees and Melkor. Interesting. Melkor and Berserk. Just message them. Let me know when done. Let me know when done. sometimes players decide not to play the last game. And we just have to make sure that we are ready. B6, 22 minutes into the match. Good lineup. You plan on playing Kislev sometime? Yeah, I think so. I really want to get a good feel for these kind of infantry-based playstyles. When they do well, when they do bad. So I can actually predict how things will go. Especially on the smaller, tighter maps. No Children of Nurgle? Yeah, no Children of Nurgle. That would have given me a lot of extra HP for sure. I was kind of thinking the Buna would be nice, though, if you went for a very elite Cav build. And it got me a little bit of value, but nothing too crazy. Children of Nurgle spam probably would have done me more, especially Stream of Corruption on the Great Swords. That can do a lot of damage. Yeah. It's okay. Nurgle is definitely a very okay faction. Kislev with good... what's it? Semi-good shooting plus good cavalry. I do think the cavalry play on Kislev would be fun. I'll probably dabble a little bit. Probably dabble just a smidge in the Kislev soon. Just learn these infantry strats. Couple matches still finishing up. So Melkor is playing. I don't think their match matters though. The person they're playing against, I believe, is Rowdy. But Rowdy is so far down the rung that it doesn't really matter. Charix is looking to make it though. Can it be done? I would love to see a Charix versus Berserk match. That would definitely be pretty spice. Berserk is done. Hell yeah. Presumably they won it. Charix just finished too. Hell yeah. Okay, so that means I think we only have like one more match to finish. So Melkor is playing Rowdy. Okay. So the top two, we got Berserk and Big Bees. The others, oh yeah, and Melkor is definitely making it. But the rest is unknown. We're still waiting on B6 and the Melkor match. 2 more matches and then we're set. So far, the good tournament. For this many signups, I think it went quite quickly. Gonna take a little over 2 hours to get the first phase done. I'm sure the players got a lot of games in, which is nice. Not bad. What factions are Nurgle actually good against? Other melee factions? Generally ranged factions. Ranged factions with bad front lines. So we're talking Skaven, we're talking Empire. That kind of stuff. Maybe even Grand Cathay, but I have no idea how that actually plays out. It's not bad. They can do okay. With more practice, you would definitely get a better feel for how the fight is going. Also, I can bring more optimized builds. Dude, I don't know how to optimize the Nurgle builds, though. Like, okay, yeah, I guess I can cut the Plague Ogres. Obviously, Pestigors and Forsaken are really good. But, like, does the building end there? It feels like... Every time I play Nurgle, it's like, yeah, just take these two guys. Just max out on Pestigors and Forsaken, and then pray. Pray that the Deeps is good enough. Such a strange faction, man. It's so weird. Lord-wise, at least, it's fairly straightforward. Like, this is a very typical pick. It's relatively cheap, and you get 2 guys. So you get a spellcaster, and you get a really nice fighty dude. This, price-wise, comes pretty close to Archaon levels, too. But you get 6 capture weight. So, it feels not bad. Chaos Knights. I would love for Chaos Knights to be good on Nurgle. They would be... Oh, man, dude, at 1,400, they're still pretty expensive. I feel like if Chaos Knights of Nurgle cost 1,300, we'd be talking, right? I think a Chaos Knight versus a Griffin Legion, the toss-up, it's close enough. Also, okay, we only have one more match. So Rowdy is facing Melkor. Charix did not make it. I repeat, Charix did not make it. Okay, and Melkor won. So that means we have a top 4, and in good time too. All right, hell yeah. So it's gonna be Big Bees versus Razak and Melkor versus Berserk. Okay. Big Bees versus Razak. Melkor versus at Berserk. Spec slot for this one, please. Left is top bracket. And the maps are going to be right here. Okay. Let's do it. So we're going to spectate Melkor versus Berserk. Should be a fun one. Berserk, very scary player. I expect them to do well here. Worshippers of the Crow. It's basically a 6th Pestigor. When I look at the Worshippers of the Crow, let's take a look. So they don't have the Tears of Nurgle. They don't have the Primal Fury. So they're just slower. Quite a bit slower too. 35 speed is still fine though. It's infantry speed. Typical infantry speed. They got Swarm of Flies. They got the Rage. But are they actually worth it? Stat-wise, much better than Pestigors. But they don't have the missile resist though. They don't have the missile resist. Let's see, what else are they missing anything else though? Yeah, they have the Swarm of Flies is good. They have that like, I think in a melee they're obviously better. I'm kind of worried about like outside of the melee though. No Vanguard too. It's giving me Warriors of Chaos vibes, which I don't like. Alright. Oh, whoops. Gotta spectate this one. Dude, I hate it so much that if they don't have a password and they give you a code, you can't spectate. Just chucks you right into the game. Yeah, we're spectating. We got knocked out during the ladder phase of the tournament. This should be a fun 2 matches to spectate though. Big Bees is going to be facing Mr. Razak. That'll be fun. Dang. 3 of the players in the top had 5 wins, though. That's crazy. Terrifying. Biggest disadvantage is no Vanguard, and they're slow. So, you have a Pestigor that has to be summoned in like a Forsaken, but is slower. So, like, imagine Imagine a Pestigor that is slightly better at fighting, but when you summon them in from their normal Vanguard point, you have to AFK with them for like 20 seconds maybe? I don't know if I feel good about that. That feels super sus. Now, if the worshippers of the Crow can actually get into melee, I think they're slightly better. Do they have mass, though? Anyone have a mass check on the worshippers of the Crow versus Pestigors? If they had the same mass as like a unit of Berserkers for Norsca, I think they'd be worth it. But the no Bearmen, sadly. Should become a Grand Cathay main once those Tiger dudes come out. Oh yeah, that'd be super hype. I already got my Moonbird practicing. Cathay, Grand Cathay has some pretty sick Moonbird plays. But alright, looks like Norsca versus Betonia. Interesting. Ooh, Berserk's playing Betonia. Okay. Berserk's usually a melee rush player, but Betonia can kind of pull that off. Really interested to see how they decide to play this. In general, though, Betonia has some pretty nasty strategies. On such a big map, too. I assume it's going to just be a whack load of cav. And you kind of just nibble at the edges of the Norscan formation. Until you win. Norsca's going to need to play very tight if that happens. To make sure that they don't get units picked off. And they're going to need a lot of units too. So if you just go for a bunch of Fimir at the start, you won't have the infantry corps to defend everything. Oh, okay, no. It's going to be Norsca versus Khorne. Boo! Alright. Not a matchup I'm super used to, though. Generally speaking, though, I would say Norsca, 6 skirmishers, microdwell. Khorne should lose that engagement, even if they do bring the Hell Cannon. ROR Great Weapon Marauders, 100 mass. Oof. Do Pestigors have more than 100 mass? Because if so, it means that their charge resistance from cavalry is significantly better. And when it comes to these mass infantry styles, that's usually what you want. So many factions. So many factions. I still need more games to learn them all. In the game I just played, I was lacking even more infantry reinforcements. So if you still need more infantry for stuff, that's when they would come into play. That's true. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And if I did have more infantry, it would have been very difficult for my opponent to win there, right? Pestigors have 130? Okay. Yeah, as like a bonus, more infantry? I guess it makes sense. I wonder if you just chaff spam with Marauders as Nurgle. So just a bunch of great weapons. And Pestigors and Forsaken. Can you win it as Nurgle? So you can take 10 Marauders on the cheat. And then you have... Then what? Then you have the Forsaken and the Pestigors. So you have 20 units of infantry for them to clear out. Even if they rout them, you can have so much infantry that they're kind of covering for each other. Maybe? Give it a hard maybe? What if you play keep away? Just avoid the fight. And then you use the infantry just for raw capture weight. That can't be good though. There's no way that's good. Otherwise Chaos would be spamming Marauders. But the thing about Marauders is they generally downtrade in melee. Though Nurgle Marauders have more HP. So like they can slightly uptrade if we're talking about spears and such, I guess. This is not particularly exciting though. But hey, we're learning. Gotta trust the process. think a nice goal would be to get really good at all the factions, which means I still have to learn Khorne and whatnot. Gonna play in the Risotto single elim later. Tempting, but probably not. Probably not. I can feel the stream get into me. I need to ease into streaming a lot. Slowly. Don't want to burn out. And also there's some like video editing I want to get to. More Petunia streams incoming. Would be pretty fun. Yo, I'm happy with the number of signups though. How many did we get? Today I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 3, 3, 20. 3, 3. Holy crap. Yeah, we had 29 signups today. Crazy. 29 signups. Wowza. That's a lot. There's a lot of people. The way this tournament is designed, though, it's meant to be really easy to just join, play a couple games, and leave. Nice. 24-hour ladder climb stream when? Start going for the crazy streams? Nah. I was thinking, I kind of want to try a different video series. I want to try a bunch of ideas because it feels like my video series, I can't get it past the tens of thousands of views mark. And if I want to make this a really good job for the long run, I need to be getting hundreds of thousands. So the last couple of years I've been a little busy with IRL stuff. So I haven't really been able to just work on my craft. And we're looking to change that. But it means a lot of experimentation. Oh, it'll be a while. It will be some time. Berserker's ready though. Versus Malachor. How will this pan out? But yeah, I need to work on my scripting. Just crazy. I hated English class as a kiddo back in grade 12. And then I decided to go into a field where I'm just writing stories. It's kind of what YouTube is. Do you strictly want to do Warhammer Total War? I think I'm going to be picking one game. We're with Warhammer Total War right now, but Dawn of War might give me some sick opportunities. Dawn of War 4. The Dow. God. I'm sorry. I have to meme on that. It's too funny. It's too funny. The Dow memes. The Dow is over 40k. Oh man. I usually don't get. I don't want to be political. I just think the phrase is hilarious. The phrase, the situation. Perfect. But yes, Dawn of War 4 is what I'm talking about. It's coming out this year. It should be, when is it coming out? Dawn of War 4 release date. No specific date yet. Could be a while, guys. You like these tournaments because you can leave without being shamed by the host? Oh yeah, I know the Total Tavern website does not have a good drop system, sadly. Nurgle Marauders beat Orc Boys? Really? Really? Are the Nurgle Marauders actually that good? Is it just the cav charges that make them lackluster? Maybe I should look into them more. Because the rule of thumb for Warhammer always is you just take good units and you take a lot of them. That's generally how most of these builds work. You heard I need consistent uploads for the algorithm. Yeah, right now I haven't been able to dive into a series yet. I've just been hella busy. Once we start getting a regular upload schedule, that'll be good. But more than that, you just need to be able to write good stories. You need to make videos that people want to watch. Holy crap. Okay, Melkor going for the manliest of man-tides. Now, typically, I would say these playstyles don't work versus high-level players, because they're really good at mopping up infantry. But who knows? I really want to see how this goes and how they decide to play it. Yeah, editing takes a lot of time. Definitely hiring an editor can be good, but first things first, we gotta have good story writing. You didn't get picked for the closed alpha testing for Dawn of War. Rip. It'll come soon enough, though. It seems like you've been keeping up with the news, though. You think Dawn of War is gonna pop off, or you think it'll be like Dawn of War 3? I hope it's a good release, but you never know. Games tend to have bad launches. Final Transmutation, by the way, in Searing Doom. We got Skull Taker with just a bloody onslaught. Nothing too crazy. What's this, Blood Reaper? Just a Blood Reaper, wow. On foot? Okay. What is this guy doing? This is definitely a weird pick. I don't know what the purpose of this guy is. Maybe it's to help fight. He's a pretty good fighter, you know, 4,000 HP. Interesting. Alright. I guess he has high melee attack, so maybe he can help clear off a lot of infantry. Definitely strange, though. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of mobility from Berserk. So Berserk likes to play melee factions, but they use doggos a lot. Orc faction looks super hype. Hell yeah. Interesting. More Warpstone has the best Warhammer videos you've ever seen, and the videos take months to produce. Yeah, I'll have to find a good balance. Overall, though, interesting start. Some Marauder Bearmen are going to get nibbled on by the dogs. Counter charge from the Skin Wolves, though, going to keep them safe. And that's actually going to turn this into a fairly good trade for Melkor. However, there's enough dogs to pressure multiple points. And another Berserker, or no. Another Marauder bites the dust. You can see, against the charges, they ain't doing too well. Overall, this ended up being a fairly even trade. But if you look at the bigger picture, maybe a 200 gold loss on the side of the Norskins. But look at that. Chimera's just clobbering some Furies. That's a very nice source of trading. And now Norsca's going to be capturing a couple points, which obviously they're going to need to do. The question, though, at such a slow pace of capture, will they actually be able to put enough pressure on to win? Because Khorne right now can actually fully focus on trading. Very good Fury charge, by the way, on the backs of the Skin Wolves. Gonna rout them off thoroughly before they can get their value back. Wow, terrible value on the Skin Wolves, actually. And so far, we're just seeing Berserk take their time to just raw value trade. Another Norscan infantry unit gets caught out. And this is kind of the pain of these ginormous maps. I would personally say going for a man-tide on a map this wide with so many opportunities to flank, I don't think it's too pretty. I think you set yourself up to getting picked apart. And we're already seeing a bunch of losses. This is 1,000 gold right here. Making it up by killing off a couple Furies, but still very painful. And we're seeing a pretty solid value lead from Berserk at the beginning. Another Blood Reaper shows up too. They're going to be pretty nice versus Marauder champions, presumably. And as long as Berserk continues to uptrade, they have lots of time here. I would say this is already a massive advantage for them. And we're going to need some plays to come back. Norsca's going to have to uptrade here, because obviously the time pressure is not going to cut it. Now, they do have Skin Wolves. They caught a couple Flesh Hounds, but it's not a kill. Oh, okay. A little bit of a re-engagement here is actually going to get a lot of Flesh Hounds lost. And this is potentially okay. Saw that Renataki tournament game. Which one? Dang. Okay, actually pretty good Norse skin pick. Though if they lose the skin wolves, it's still not going to be super pretty. And indeed, the skin wolves do out. Over yonder or over here, Chimera's doing its best to bring back the trading value. Has it used any breath attacks yet? Not quite yet. It's going to need some very hefty ones to pull back any amount of value. As now we are seeing more than 1,000 down. Full mobility, yeah, makes a lot of sense. But yeah, this ain't too pretty. This ain't pretty at all. Ice wolves coming on in. Getting surrounded. Skull Taker is here too. So we're seeing Marauder Horseman with 46 melee attack, 44 weapon strength. Skull Taker basically will help win any fight that he is in the premises of. And yeah, it's just complete massacre of those Ice Wolves. Norsca's really struggling to uptrade. They're now 2,000 down. Terra bad. Lord just got attacked by Skull Taker. Lots of deeps over there. And very rapidly we're seeing Norsca is running out of units. We have about 6 units in this pocket. 1 guy over here against the mass mobility. Although they do have some mobile forces over here that can do well. But the loss of the Lord is definitely real bad. And we're also going to see the Blood Reapers. Maybe they'll cook. Although I will say against the Chimera, it seems like it's going pretty bad. If the Chimera can kill both of them, though, I think that's where there's a little bit of a chance. Because the Blood Reapers are supposed to be here to uptrade. But man, that Chimera hurts. Magic attacks. Fairly good melee stats. Carrying it. It is exhausted, though, from all the fighting. But still, if it can kill him, that'll definitely get him places. And the Blood Reapers are actually crumbling. I knew the Blood Reapers were bad. Maybe they were an experimental unit, but definitely not getting their values worth in this particular situation. They did not contribute to capture weight. They just kind of ran into the infantry and died. Chimera loving the value that it's going to be getting off of them. Let's just take a look at that. Raw Chimera value. Already at 700. And it still has 3 breath attacks. So potentially we could see some Norscan value trading here. They're going to have a hard time killing Skull Taker, though, that's for sure. They don't have a lot of resources right now. And the Chimera, however strong, is definitely not going to beat this guy. He has insane DPS, low melee defense, but he doesn't care about that because of that sweet, sweet regeneration. So let's just zoom in here and take a look at how this is panning out. Skull Taker running over the Chimera. Massive damage. Got the debuff too. Bloody Onslaught. And yeah, it's just gonna rout. Skull Taker taking effectively no damage. Very nice for the Coordinate Forces. Big rout on the Marauder Horseman. And yeah. Korn basically said here, you can have 600 tickets. I'm just gonna keep value trading. I don't care. So the Norscans, even though, yeah, it might look like they caught up a bit ticket-wise, they're still falling more and more behind every single second that goes by. A little bit of a value take from the bloodletters, blood speakers, whatever. The infantry guys that we never see. But this is definitely a solid win from Berserk. I think they're just taking it nice and comfortable. They're not rushing to get this point. They just want to keep getting value, which makes a lot of sense. And the Marauder champions, can they cook? Probably not. Getting a decent amount of value. They did get buffed a while back. 600 gold ain't it. Brutality. At this point, we're just waiting for the tap out. Norsca would need to get some real crazy plays to come back here. Technically, the Chimera is still alive, though. It has yet to pay for itself, but it's on its way, and it does have 2 more breath attacks. So maybe. Mayhaps a free Warhound of Khorne going down over here at the cost of their super elite infantry. There's no way, though, right? It's 4,000 down now, and still 750 tickets. That means if Berserk keeps up this level of uptrading, can't talk today, I'm actually getting pretty hungry, but if they keep up this level of uptrading, by the time they get to 1,500 tickets, they're going to be 8,000 gold down. That's half of an entire army. That's like an entire starting army worth of advantage. Would certainly mean that they would get army wiped. But hey, Chimera's doing its best. Big charge. It probably will pay for itself too. But the rest of the army did not. And the Chimera does make the rest of the army pretty lackluster. When it comes to combined arms, these single entities don't really provide too much. And here comes the final death push. Mayhaps just a big ol' march down the pipe onto point number 3. Looks like it's happening. All the forces of Khorne are coming to bear. And just to finish the job, a Khorne great weapon Minotaur. Lots of speed, super high charge bonus. As soon as they get in here, I think it's over. Not only can they kill the Chimera, but they also do crazy damage to the infantry. Which, by the way, there is not much of. Just a single Marauder and a Bearman. And here they come. Also unhindered by the trees is a nice bonus. Countered only by the Skin Wolves, but these guys, with their anti-large, armor-piercing, super high damage, they should be able to wreck Skin Wolves. Fleshhounds don't have fire damage though, huh? I thought they did. Can they beat the Skin Wolves? Probably not alone. They're gonna need the support of the infantry. Final Transmutation whiffs, by the way. Hits ground. So the Minotaurs will actually be able to escape from that. And here's the clobbering time. Minotaurs all over the horsemen. They are taller than the horsemen. Even well mounted. And yeah, it's just going to be a mass rout. So solid play. I think no big complaints. It was just this big old Khorne game using mobility on a big map to secure the victory. Wonder, did this guy manage to get value? 550, 570? Yeah, pretty lackluster. Even against Khorne spell resist, generally you want to get at least 1,000 value, but dying so early definitely set him back. And of course the missed final transmutations did not help. It's also really rough. Dog on dog violence, what does the world come to? Oh my gosh, and the bloody onslaught on the Ice Wolves. Brutal. Oh hey, you resummoned this guy. I can't believe it, the Blood Reaper's back. Okay, I'm pretty sure the Blood Reaper was just a test or a meme or something. He also decided to summon in the Blood Reapers, right? He did not start. They did not start with the Blood Reapers. So I really don't know what's going on here. Are they like to beat Throg or something? I don't know. Why? They definitely don't beat the Chimera. We saw them lose. They didn't even do that well versus the Marauder champions. Maybe just for capture weight, but honestly, with Berserk's micro, I feel like more mobility would have done it. This, by the way, is a terrible fight for the Skin Wolves. Minotaurs are rocking 54 melee attack despite being tired. And there you go, there's a tap out. Alright, GG. GG. Stay in lobby for finals. Please. Nice game. Yeah, just lots of good killy power. Blood Reapers got a decent amount of value. Furies actually did not bad, despite the Chimera kind of wrecking them. Those charges on the Skin Wolves definitely made up their value. And honestly, for the Norscan build, the only things I really liked about it, I think it was just the Chimera. The mass infantry did not cook. The Bearmen, they got okay value, but on this map, it's just a little too big. So Khorne basically just singled out a bunch of units. I do kind of wonder, though. I do kind of wonder if they played super tight and just boxed it and walked forwards, could they have won it? Maybe. Maybe. The down trading was really bad, but that's kind of just a cascading effect. There is a little bit of a tipping point where you have so much infantry that mobility can't really get in to chew them up. But probably not. Probably not. Berserk would not be going for mobility if it did not work. And yeah, Skull Taker would just be able to sit and grind too. I think even if they did just have to take a super long melee fight, Skull Taker would just crush it. Hey, Decay, what's up? We're in the grand finals right now. And by we, I mean these two players, which is spectating. Big B's versus Berserk. Let's take a look at the faction lineup. Big B's playing Vampire accounts, which means they're probably dead. Berserk plays a bunch of melee factions. It's not impossible for Vampire accounts to win, but tipping points. I think once you become a good enough player, you can beat the counts. Mayhaps Big B's will have some crazy tech in the back pocket, but I'll say I'm a little worried. I'll just get a quick snack while we wait for these people to finish up. We try anything interesting today? No, just learning how to play the Mantide. I will say Mantide is difficult, man. I think it basically all comes down to your ability to make a good build. And then after that, it's mostly desummoning. Man, I wish, though, I could just have someone hand me some good Mantide builds, pilot. But I am okay figuring it out myself. Yeah, I'm used to a very, very different style. Basically the polar opposite. My Nurgle games are not bad, though. I think we play an okay Nurgle. We play a very okay Nurgle. I found that I really like the Pestigors and Forsaken. The Noxbringer feels really good. And I think next time I kind of want to investigate if Marauders, the Marauders of Nurgle are good. Also, we're going to see Vampire counts versus Khorne. Interesting. My gut tells me that this is hella Khorne favored. Wrathmongers just clean up Vampire counts like no one's business. These players got to remember the map, by the way. It should be Chateau Rockfort. We'll give them the map, and then we'll see how this goes. But yeah, generally speaking, Wrathmongers do super well. Vampire counts have some weird tech, like using Gaze of Nagash to kill Wrathmongers. It's such high damage, and they have very low entities. But you can kind of counterplay that. 4 Vargulfs, the Vargulf spam. You know, that would be real interesting. Obviously, you can't take 4, but they probably do okay versus Wrathmongers. There was a time, by the way, when Khorne would just spam SEs here. Just take a bunch of big burly flyers, control the air game. And then once all the Vampire counts mobility is dead, you bring in Wrathmongers to clean up the infantry. I'm the host. Oh, whoopsie daisies. Chateau Rockfort. There we go. Huh. There's maps for all the various corruptions on the map. I can do Chateau Rockfort, Corn Corruption. Hell yeah. Sure, let's do that. Is that just to make it look different or what? That's why you bring the Bloodletter hero? Forget their name? Oh boy, that's how good they are. They got that massive, what's this, MR boost ability? Oh yes, magic resist. That is one of the cases where you actually do want to bring them. The spell resist is crazy. 65% spell resist AoE is insane. But I think it's very fitting for Khorne. Honestly, I don't know why dwarves don't have something similar. Yeah, corruption does not change gameplay. That would be pretty funny if it did, though. Wait, is it a vampire counts mirror? Why is Berserk staying on vampire counts? Did Berserk counter vampire counts with vampire counts? And then Big B's actually took it? I think that makes sense. Berserk should be able to force any matchup they want. But a counts mirror? Oh boy. I think that's what they're doing. Wait, give me a second. Are they making armies? Holy crap, yeah, they're making armies. Whoa. Alright, that's pretty wild. So the players want to go for the mega grind. Vampire counts mirrors are pretty interesting. Slower paced battle, of course. Turn would be dying right now? Oh yeah, we all know it. But yeah, this matchup, it comes down to capture weight play and using the Mortis engine effectively. So a lot of it comes down to how you can find ways to uptrade. Because the battle's going to be long, let me tell you. But the counts player that uptrades will generally have more capture weight to throw on the points. So it's not like you kill your enemy and you shove them off the points. They're still going to be on it. It's just you're going to have the weight. And that can be real helpful. Because once you are on the point and you own it, and they still have units on the point, those units are basically being useless. So they got to be relocated, they got to be repositioned. And that's usually where we see big advantages. So if someone's fighting for a point, but they don't own it, they're usually falling more behind, I would say. 20 zombies versus 20 zombies. I think that actually might not work because Graveguard would trade so well. Yeah, let's do the Tzeentch Corruption map. Let's do the Tzeentch Corruption map because it's because of the shenanigans of the mirror match. Should send this replay to Turin. I swear, man, it was such a good game. You'll love it. Isn't this just who gets better Winds of Death? Oh yeah, Winds of Death spam is definitely a thing here. I think that could be a really big playmaker. If they play smartly, they can probably mitigate it. It would be really interesting if one of them takes like a Dragon Lord, snipe the Winds of Death caster. Like if it's a Necromancer spam, you just snipe him. A little bit of volatility there. Winds of Death, by the way, you can't dodge it with skeletons. But you want to limit the number of units it hits. If Winds of Death catches more than 2 skeletons, I would say you've gravely misplayed. Big B should be nearly done though. Very fun. By the way, Crypt Ghoul back caps are definitely a thing here. Very risky though. Very risky. It's super easy to send a Crypt Ghoul on a point, think you can get it, but then you don't. And Crypt Ghouls generally down trade. just because they lose to mobility and they lose to Graveguard. So we'll see. Looks like Big B's going for the Kemlar White King strat and some cavalry. Cavalry is fun. So we're going to see the fast Vampire Counts player versus slow one. Though no, they both went some mobility. Okay, we saw some Vargeists, tight. We got the Zinch corruption, hell yeah, look at this. Ooh. Map is the same though, right? These trees better not be any different. Imagine the trees just offer absurd line of sight blocking. Capture points over here though, this is the edge of the map, so they're not doing anything. Everything looks fairly similar. I think they just added some Zinch corruption doodads. Mixing it up a bit. You lose in previous round. I didn't get enough wins in the qualifier stage, the ladder phase. Lost to Skaven of all factions. That was rough. But yeah, we're going to see some double White King. We're going to see some Winds of Death. And then just a big old infantry corps. Skeletons with the Blood Knights. Blood Knights are super hype. These are Balefire and Unholy Lodestone. Balefire reduces the healing of the enemy. And the other one heals. This, though, is interesting. The Claw of Nagash. Nagash will be very hype, I'm sure, once it drops. But yeah, this thing has a slow, which won't be super useful here. It does have a Mortis Engine effect, which means that a straight-up fight is very good for Berserk. And to make sure that it doesn't get sniped, he has a Von Karstein Lord with the Storm of the Night. So this is an air superiority build with a Mortis Engine that's going to be protected by all that. Technically, with Mortis Engine support, this army loses, but it's very easy for Big B's to bring in their own Mortis. There is a White King over here with Scabscrath, very typical. And the battle begins. So right away we're seeing Berserk has opted to have slightly less effective infantry to get the points a little sooner. $5 on Berserk. I think the Mortis Engine is a strong first pick. This thing also increases Winds of Magic regeneration by 40%. That is quite a bit. And without anything to contest it, it's very nice. Plus the Vargeist can hunt down the cavalry. I would say already build-wise, this feels better for Berserk, I would say. Because all this infantry here, like what are they gonna do, right? I guess it's gonna be capture weight. This can spread out and secure multiple points. But with the Vargeists, it becomes a lot more risky. Cavalry is gonna need to support any wide plays. But I think that is still totally doable. Konigstein Stalkers get summoned on the red side. But what now? You put the bet down before you saw the build? Dang. Just purely based on the player. Berserk's good though. Vargulf gets summoned in as the first blue summon. Vargulf is real interesting. It's a hunter. That is specifically here to kill the Claw of Nagash. Maybe some White Kings ward off the Von Karstein Lord. If it can catch some Vargeists too, that's really good. So this is mostly where we're going to be seeing the micro dump down. Crypt Ghouls have been spotted. Obviously, we're seeing some early captures here. And a Flock of Doom drops. A decent play. It's going to get a little bit of damage. Is it really more worth than like a Winds of Death? I guess this guy can't take Winds of Death. So potentially what we could see is Big B's go for the Mega Winds play. There's not a lot of infantry here. All these guys get one shot by Winds of Death. And Big B's potentially could actually just take a super decisive fight here. Because without the infantry support, like what are you going to do, right? None of you guys work without infantry. Good charge though, from the Vargeist. Quarter HP off the Skeleton Warriors, such as 100 gold for basically free. Because the cavalry's a little away right now, though that means one less Vargeist in this situation. Presumably 2 is still enough to handle this though. I do kind of wonder, however, if the Vargeist do decide to jump the, the Blood Knights. They do have absurd anti-large, and they probably dumpster the Vargeists. Crypt ghouls do get pushed back. And yeah, this is kind of the sketchy situation, right? In a straight up fight, I don't envy Berserk's build. The blue build is definitely much more hardy, can just stand their ground. Might even see a bit of a charge here, but that would be an overcommitment. Don't want to see the game end before it starts. Some repositioning on the Vargheists to protect the Crypt ghouls. And you can see there's just a bit of a threat here to capture the point, but 2 units of zombies is more than enough. And even more flyers show up. So Big B's definitely has higher capture weight. This point is not going to fall anytime soon. I would be very surprised if it did. Which means ticket-wise, Big B's is in the lead. It is in the realms of the red vampire counts to get value, to shove them off the point. And the value plays begin. First initial charge on the Blood Knights results in a massive counter charge on the Vargheist. Quarter HP down already. More commitment with the Devils of Schwarzhaven and another Vargheist unit, but Kemmler's here. Kemmler has healing. Drops it like it's hot on the Blood Knights and the Black Knights. And overall, value trading is looking pretty bad. Vargheist again absolutely mulched by the power of the Blood Knight Lances. There's actually 2 of them here. A zombie summon drops 2 to pin these guys down, and I don't think they're going to be able to escape. Maybe they kill 1 Blood Knight, but that's a massive loss already. Berserk, suffering pretty hard. Vargulf pushed the Mortis engine back, and there's a lot of infantry here to stall basically forever. We may have seen a little bit of an over-eager misplay as the Dire Pact are in. Killing off a unit of flyers. Down for the count permanently. Blood Knight dies though, and 1 unit of Vargheist may be able to escape. Crypt ghouls are also on the point. And okay, a little bit of good point play from Berserk is going to be able to secure 1 of them. But it's still not a very pretty situation. Trading is very far down. And we're going to see some units shuffling over to point number 3 to potentially take it. But with the way the zombies are summoned or positioned, it's not going to get stolen anytime soon. We're going to need some Crypt ghouls, which are on the way. Which means, yeah, how is Berserk going to come back? Berserk's in a terrible position right now. Lost a ton of Vargheist. Might be able to kill some doggos. Might be able to get some Karen Wraith plays. Karen Wraiths are pretty hype. Does get another charge on the Blood Knights. And the Blood Knights are disengaging, so they won't be able to fight the Devils of Schwarzhaven. Overall, this is not too bad. If the Vargheists end up trading out for the Blood Knights, that's all the mobility gone, and that's going to be 2 capture points. Potentially, we could see a comeback here. Vargulf, though, is definitely getting some work in. Not sticking to the Claw of Nagash, though. It's a slight misplay, because this is getting a lot of value right now. Already 87 kills, lots of healing, lots of damage. But I'm really just not liking these Vargheists. They're just getting absolutely cooked by the Blood Knights. Blood Knights being just a supreme answer here for these mobile flyers. They don't got no armor, so Blood Knights hit them extremely hard. Black Knight Lances still barely sticking with the 2. Vargulf now retargeted on the Claw of Nagash. Little worried for Berserk, though they are definitely making it pretty close. Point number 3 though, as soon as it flips, it means that ticket-wise, Big B's is back in the advantage. And that's basically the one thing that they need to get done here. Capture this point, don't lose this one. Now, not losing this one could be a little sketchy. This Mortis engine is getting so much value, but Kemmler can put it back in the positive. But this is very close capture point-wise. There's a unit of Karen Wraiths, that's 5 capture weight. Some Crypt ghouls, that's 4 capture weight. Potentially, this point could flip in 20 seconds if all the capture weight comes in here at the same time. With the Crypt Horrors, maybe less so. And some cool Crypt Ghoul play. Feasters in the Dark, going to be contesting this. But I'm still a little worried, right? Now, after this, it's going to come down to the value trading, which is still in the favor of Big B's, but you gotta not discount the Mortis engine. It's been grinding here this whole time. Crypt Horrors are taking so little damage, they're actually healing in combat. That's the power of regeneration and the Mortis engine. It's crazy how well they can just stick in the fight. And indeed, the capture point does go the way of the red vampire counts. Now they are down trading, but now we actually have a match. Because even if they down trade, they can still win on tickets. They just have to make sure this point doesn't fall. Looks like it's gonna though. That sneaky crypt ghoul play actually making some mega value over here and reinforced by zombies. Big B's knows the win con. Yes. Maybe I'm gonna down trade a little bit more in this situation because I'm hugging a Mortis engine. But it doesn't matter because I'm still gonna have a general value lead and I'm gonna have 2 points that you'll never be able to steal. Works unless we see an army wipe situation, but with vampire counts it's basically impossible. However, killing off some White Kings, definitely possible. That could really hurt the capture weight of the blue vampire counts. Looks bleak, take your blood money. Thank you very much for the Danish kroner. I don't know, it's not entirely confirmed just yet. This is actually still a very close game. We've seen some sick plays from Big B's taking the flanks, giving up the center position. And Berserk making some good plays with just pure raw value, right? Playing around the Mortis engine means that, yeah, you're just gonna have infinity value. But the, oh, not Winds of Death, double scab scrap. Lots of damage on the zombies, but they're not dead yet. Healing is insane. Crumbling is barely doing anything to these zombies. They're taking, yeah, they're actually healing now. It's crazy. So they don't have to worry about that. Berserk is actually going to be going for the value game. And if this Mortis engine sticks around, they actually will be getting a bit of a value lead. That means that they will have more capture weight overall, but actually throwing your opponent off the points in a vampire counts mirror is pain. Look at this. You got some cav, you got some crypt ghouls. How long is it going to take to kill these units to buy a path to get onto point number 1? Like 50 years, right? Units are going to have to start moving now if they want to get into a good position. If this game were to go on forever, I think Berserk would win it, just based off of the value trading. But it's not. This game's going to end in the next 5 minutes, by the looks of it anyways. And this corpse card just refuses to die. 100 HP. Still above 100. Now slightly below. And the crumbling will eventually get a kill. That's going to reduce the leadership here. A couple zombie summons. Disappearing too. Maybe not too bad. Okay. With the loss of the corpse card, it's going to be okay. Point actually clears up a little sooner than I thought it would. With some combined pressure, especially the Claw of Nagash. But there's still a little bit of an issue, right? This point is very well secured. This one is not going to get captured by the blue vampire counts player. They haven't had any money saved up for it. But this is where the pain is. Winds of Death deletes a crypt ghoul and a zombie. So how are you going to capture this? Well, okay. Apparently the solution is more Vargeists, right? Vargeists are in. Doing the bestest. Good flock of doom. But that's gonna need to get a lot of damage in, right? Vargeists can only cook so fast if they're always in the air. In fact, they're not trading at all. But hey, maybe if they can kill off the knights, it's not too bad. If they trade out with the knights, potentially we could see this mass summon of zombies and crypt ghouls retake the point. I could see that happening, especially with the Karen raids coming in. Corpse card is not on location, so I think we're seeing a play being made. Now, it will take about 2 minutes for the play to finish being made. Vampire Count Mirror is not a very punchy matchup. And if you look at the tickets, currently, Big B still needs a double cap. They still need a double cap to win this, right? This is 600 tickets off. So we're looking at like, this is gonna have to hit about 1,200 before I would say Big B's is comfortable. Maybe like 1,150. If it hits 1,150, Big B should be able to, actually no. Oh wait, no. It's gonna need 1,200 at least. It's gonna actually need to be slightly more. Never mind, my bad. And as it stands, this point looks like it may be falling soon. Some zombies are trying to block. Just a summon. With some extra winds of magic. But this point is starting to flip. Now there is some cavalry that can jump on it in case of emergency. But look at this. Middle point is getting pretty well secured. Point number 3 looking a bit exposed. And it's going to be a race for the point. So like I said, the play that was made about a minute ago has now arrived. And both players are going for the mad dash. If it comes down to the fact that Big B's needs a double cap to win this, he's pretty boned. And by the looks of it, indeed, the point does flip. Big B's. No summons. Has a zombie unit AFK. Oh my gosh. A misplay made minutes ago, most likely. Actually loses the point. I can't believe it. That's pretty bad. That puts him in a bad position. Currently, this is won by Berserk by a very slim margin. It is an incredibly, incredibly slim margin. But yeah, it's about 20 tickets difference, which means Big B's has to retake one of these points. Now, currently, it looks like they're doing a pretty good job. They got some Skeleton Warriors, they got Kemler, they got some Crypt Ghouls here. If they take this, that means it's going to be a one-cap victory. Now, there's still a good shot here for Berserk. Berserk can swipe this point. But it's looking pretty sus. Good body blocking on the Conic Sign Stalkers to get the point secured. And there you go. Berserk is going to have to triple cap to win this game now. There is no other solution. It has to be a triple cap. Now, it doesn't have to be a triple cap for very long. Literally only a few seconds, and it's going to swing in their favor. But now it's going to be pretty sus. Crypt Ghouls for the high capture weight have been brought onto the battlefield. Blood Knights, Black Knights, we got some Crypt Horrors. Oh, I think the Blood Knights are dead. Are going to be flooding onto this point. And all the units on point number 1 are going to have to relocate yet again. Perhaps an overcommitment onto this point. Big B's going for the 6 stealing plays. Maybe that's what they were saving the money for. I will say this is a misplay, though. The double zombie. Double zombie. Technically, it's only 200 gold, but capture weight's important. And the jump onto point 2 is made. Now, there's still a lot of time here. Even by vampire count standards, if they can capture this point in the next 10 seconds, they'll have 2 minutes to get this last one. That's a lot of time. This one looks like it actually is going to fall pretty quickly, too. But capturing the point is not actually what's needed. Berserk needs to get onto this point in the back. And killing these units is going to take 50 years. Absolutely impossible. Which means some sort of play within the next 80 seconds has to be made on this one. A dog unit arrives, but their capture weight is wasted. Trying to surround Kemler, they end up dying, which is actually a bit of a misplay on Berserk's side. And this is less about trading, more about capture weight. 80 seconds, not a lot of time even for fast factions to secure a point. But the blue side is very close to army wiped. This Mortis engine has gone an insane amount of value. 3,000 damage, and even more in the way of healing. But I think it's pretty donezo. Oh yeah, Kemler's heal and melee passive. Usually people don't do that though, because Kemler's usually running around out of combat. It can be nice if you really want to get that grind going, but you might as well take the Mortis engine at least most of the time. And use Kemler just as a fast caster. And there you go. Tapped out. Berserk loses. I can't believe it. Big B's bringing in the cavalry squad to kill off the Vargeist. I will say Berserk's build. Berserk definitely had that Mortis engine advantage. No Mortis engine was summoned by Big B's. 3,000 value is crazy. But losing the Vargeist early I think is what did him in. They were on their way to kind of army wiping. At least as army wipey as you can get for vampire counts. The red side. But not enough. That's why you never take Vargeist. Yeah. One of them did okay. 2080. But here's the thing. The Vargeist either do okay or they do abysmal. I guess, like, this is pretty good, right? Killing off some cav. But look at this. Look at the Blood Knight. 2,400. 2,000 on this cav. Yeah, they did well, despite there being Vargeist. Plus, they provided capture weight. All in all, that helped them out a ton. The dogs got crazy value on the Vargeists. And the White Kings, they, pretty good, actually. Wait, no, they paid for themselves. Despite getting killed by the Mortis engine early on, they did pretty good. That was super important, by the way, for securing the middle point. A whole 6 capture weight over there. Camlor got 77 kills. Actually not a Winds of Death fiesta. There just weren't too many blobs. And that's going to be game. Congratulations to Big B's. At Big B's. Congrats on the win. You'll get your tournament point soon. Pope Patty, thank you very much for the Swiss francs. Or wait a second. Yes. No? Check. Kroner? CHF. Currency. It's been so long. It is Swiss francs. Dang it. I had it at the beginning. Thank you very much, though. Big B's coming in with a steel chair. Yeah, Berserk is no easy opponent to beat. Trizic, by the way, if you could give them that point and let me know when you do that, that'd be great. Already done. Hell yeah. Thank you. But yeah, fun match. I do think the Karen race were pretty cool, but at the end of the day, they didn't do too much. I think they're kind of interesting, though. I've been writing them off for a while, but I think Maximillionaire's kind of brought them back into the meta. Vargulf was kind of cool, too, though. Okay, technically it got a lot of value, and it provided capture weight. But was it a good unit? Would it have been better to have 16 zombies? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it was actually killing anything too important, except for maybe the White King. The White King was not a bad target. That's 3 capture weight off the table. It's a 6 capture weight swing for only a few hundred gold more. Fun match, though. GG's. Peace out. I'm going to go rest for this weekend. And we'll be back on Monday. Regular streaming once again. It'll be great. Shall be amazing. I'll see you guys then. And peace out.